Dan Lieberman, ABC News. K-Hal News Time, 10:03. That means that if you are unvaccinated, a regular trip to the grocery store, a night out to dinner are more dangerous than they have been at any point in this pandemic for you.
The gravity of these situations just keeps getting bigger.
Eric, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Okay, 7:30 tonight, right?
You tell me.
Yeah, 7:30 at Benihana's.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you there.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, love you. Bye.
It's one of my favorite spots, Doc.
Now,
Loved it, my guys.
You know what's amazing? I tried 9 days in advance to get a reservation. I couldn't get one. The last Friday, which was my son's birthday, so we had to move it to tonight, which was the only time they had available.
I loved it, my guys. Got so south up in there one night.
Denver weather, warm, clouds though, with a high of 57, a low down toward 35. Tomorrow up toward 68, right now it's 48. With your impact traffic and weather, Karen Johnson, 630 KHOW.
This week on Red Pilled America, we speak to Dilbert cartoonist Scott Adams and tell the story of how one of his predictions is leading atheists to God. Listen to Red Pilled America on the iHeartRadio app. It's Red Pilled America.
how about taking advantage of historic low rates? Refinancing with Ideal Home Loans can substantially lower your monthly payments. Or you may want to pull out some equity, whether it be for the holidays or urgent home repairs before the dead of winter, maybe even for bill consolidation. IdealHomeLoans.com, 303-867-7000. Equal opportunity lender regulated by DORA, NMLS 136756. For terms and conditions, call 844-45 IDEAL. You don't pay a cent until you're content. Only with ExcelRoofing.com.
It's your chance to win $1,000. Text the nationwide keyword pay to 200 200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's pay to 200 200.
Man. This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino, and I like to say this hour brought to you by RealCBDThatWorks.com. What does that mean if you have pain, inflammation, anxiety? It helps, and you know what? What did I just do this morning, Talib? What did I just do? Come on, spill, Talib, spill it.
He just delivered for me plenty of CBD.
That's my gift to you. Yes, because it was been helping so much. He takes the gel caps. I take the chewables. Welcome to the show, 303-713-TALK. Oh, by the way, it's RealCBDThatWorks.com. You get 30% off using my name, Tom, in the promo code, just Tom. And that's 30% off, RealCBDThatWorks.com. Today I have Water Pros with us. I'm going to love talking to him because when I love doing commercials for people I love. I love doing commercials for companies that I believe in. You know, you can't fake faith when it comes to companies. And when I start losing faith in companies and they wane, you may have found it over the years. If you've listened to me for many years, you heard me advertising a lot for somebody, right? Then all of a sudden, I'm not. Now, of course, in some cases, people say, hey, Tom, it's not a good fit. What do you, we're going to try something else. Like from time to time that's happened, very rarely. But I can remember one guy that did breast augmentation and he advertised with me and I wasn't doing it for him, as far as getting him customers. This was years ago. And then, but in most cases, we part as friends when I notice a company waning. And it's happened. It's happened. It's happened with car dealers. It's happened with service companies. It's happened. Now, I don't make a big announcement. If they're not ripping people off, I don't make a big announcement, stay away from so-and-so. I'm not going to turn like a rabid dog on sponsors. However, if a sponsor wanes, if they drift, if they don't measure up, you'll notice you won't hear them anymore. Now, this happened actually, this one blew up when it came to stem cells. And I have to admit this one. When stem cell technology first came out, and I don't mean first came out, but when they first started offering it to people in advertising, I think I jumped the gun a little too fast, and I was calling everything stem cells because that's what the industry was doing, right? If they did amniotic fluid, it was a stem cell. If they did blood, it was a stem cell, PRP. Whatever they did, they called stem cells, and I went on the bandwagon, and I represented this place that's not, I don't even think the Stem Cell Institute of America is even still around. And then this one shyster, I call him Dr. Dean Jones, was a chiropractor downtown somewhere doing, and because I found out that stem cells truly, in order to be a true stem cell, it must be a donor on site. And mostly the donor is you. And there's no such thing as old stem cells. Stem cells, by their very nature, are new cells. And they extract from you the stem cells and then use them. They minimally manipulate them and then put them back into you. That's the only way to get legit stem cells. If you are ever told that you're getting stem cells and they ship fluids in, it will never work. Why? Because under FDA guidelines, in order to pack that fluid with enough stem cells for them to survive the trip and the injection, you would have to manipulate them a great deal to where they would be a drug. And that is not allowed. So if they are truly packed with stem cells enough to be effective, they're breaking the law from unknown sources because there's no FDA approval for this. And if they're not packing them, then you're getting dead cells. And Dr. Chris Centeno has proven this. I just happen to mention him because he was a sponsor. And they do real stem cells. So anyway, I digress a little, but the whole point I'm trying to make is this. When you hear a commercial on this show, it's because I believe in the products and the services. Totally. Now, That's not to say someone someday might find a problem that can't be solved and I part company. It happens now and then. Not everyone can maintain perfection for a long time. I want to talk about something here with Mark of Business Partners. Anyway, Mark, welcome. By the way, I should give out our number, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show. Mark, what's happening?
Well, thank you for having me on the show, Tom.
Yes, sir.
I have a couple business partners that decided to file with the state back in April, removing me from our company that we created. It was a startup company.
Okay, so Mark, you had a startup company with two other people?
Correct.
Okay. With two other people, with two partners, and then they decided to ace you out. Now, the startup company with two partners was in the form of what?
LLC.
Okay, and then they went on. Anyone can go online and alter the organizational documents. Is that what they did?
That's what they did. April 5th, they made a new articles of organization and submitted that to the state.
Okay.
Removing me off the papers.
Okay. Well, let me ask you something. What's the consequence here now? Because and don't think I'm taking this lightly. Here's what I'm saying. As a result of you of this happening, it doesn't alter anything. If you in other words, if you have, just because they file with the state doesn't mean that when they go in and take you off as a partner, that you're off as a partner. It just means they filed it that way. What really counts is if you had an original operating agreement, and you should have, do you?
Yes.
Okay. An original operating agreement would have an agreement with the three of you. Do you have that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what I want to know is, does that original agreement have all three of your signatures?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So then they have not amended that yet.
Nope, they have never amended it.
So you're still an owner. What are you, a 33 1/3%?
Oh, no. So they have amended that. That's the
No, they didn't.
Submitted just removing me.
No, Mark, they didn't. Unless they did it, they have to do it according to the operating agreement. For example, if your operating agreement says it takes a simple majority to remove a member, and the two of them voted and had a meeting, they can alter the operating agreement. But many times when you have equal partners like that, in order to prevent one from being aced out, they have wording to protect the minority owner. So what I want to know, Mark, is when they amended, I just need you to know something. There's a difference between an operating agreement among the partners and a filing with the state. You can file anything you want with the state. That doesn't necessarily reflect the true nature of your business relationship. Do you understand that? It does not reflect, nor does it have any kind of bearing at all, unless they can prove that the altered state filing was agreed to by all of you through a separate operating agreement. So don't worry about the state filing. What I'm worried about is this. You have an original operating agreement. That dictates everything. If it says they can vote you out, then you were voted out.
We have no such wording in that operating agreement.
Okay, so how did they alter the operating agreement when there were 3 people on it to make only 2 people? What wording did they use? And I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm just getting information so we can consult our attorneys. Go ahead.
I know. They simply just took that same agreement, removed my name, claimed 50% each, and just re-signed it.
Well, they can't do that, obviously. You have a lawsuit now. They're rendering the first agreement They're rendering it useless. Well, they can't do that. I don't know what the wording of the first agreement says, but some, I assume it doesn't allow them to do that. And it probably says the only way this agreement can be amended is through a consensus or an agreement of all partners or something. I don't know, Mark. I didn't write it. Who the hell wrote your original one?
That was the one guy used some freebie.
Well, listen, man. Listen, Mark. You need to see an attorney about being aced out of ownership, because here's why. If the operating agreement lacks the terms and conditions necessary for a fair and equitable division, and fair could be that they can vote you out. I'm just saying, if it lacks those terms, the state laws will take over. And state laws would, if they wanted to get rid of you, they would have to go through something. You have some strength here of what you're telling me is true. They can't just decide they don't want to be your partner anymore unless the original operating agreement gave them authority. So the fact they went to the state and re-registered with just 2 names instead of 3 doesn't make it valid. But what I want to know is, what are the consequences of you not being an owner? Was this entity making money?
We were not making a lot of money being a startup company. However, due to the falling out prior to all this going down, I had arranged with a Fortune 500 company to buy our intellectual property.
And how much?
We're talking about 100 to 150,000.
Okay, and what kind of intellectual property is it?
We had mapped the trails around the country. We had taken trail data, and imported that, and made it usable for the average person.
So here's the bottom line. If you think now, as a result of this, you're going to lose money, get an attorney.
I don't even understand where on Colorado's Secretary of State you would add or remove a member. None of that makes sense.
You absolutely can. Absolutely, positively, with the registration. You go online and you can remove a member and add a member and change the managing partner and change. Yeah, absolutely. It's on the Secretary of State. And the reason they do that is to keep track of it. I mean, it's not mandatory. There are many people, Mark, that never go back on the state after the initial filing and change anything. That is only a filing with the state. It has no bearing on what actually happens.
This guy is so fucking bent out of shape about that, he should be worried about his operating agreement.
Where's my money going to go?
What's that?
Where's my money going to go?
Well, this guy, yeah, he's going to be screwed.
Securities offered through Cambridge Investment Research Inc., a broker-dealer, member of FINRA SIPC, investment advisor representative, Cambridge Investment Research Advisors Inc., a registered...
Are you changing that?
Yeah, let's go. I'm getting first.
I mean, so people could just write them out with no compensation and just restructure the company with 2 partners instead of 3?
I have no idea where you would do that. I would love for someone to show me.
Mark, I file them all the time.
I file probably 100 of them. I've never seen where I can add or...
No, what you do is the fucking one on there, you take off and upload the new one.
The new one, you're talking the registered agent.
No,
you're talking the person that actually filed it. I'm staring at one here.
Okay, Mark, I know for a fact you can do it because I have done it any number of times. In fact, I've done it at least 12 times. Okay. And I've done it most recently with the magazine. I know you can do it because I just changed that.
LLCs are the most worthless companies for most people. Yeah, it's just worthless.
Listen, I want to tell you about home investors. They buy houses. You may say, well, I don't need them. I can sell my house. I can do it conventionally, make a lot of money. But there are people that want to get out of town. They do not want any inspections. They don't want to have to show the house. They don't want to have to stage the house. In fact, there might be a lot of deferred maintenance. They don't want to make repairs. They just want to check. They want to get out of town. Call home investors. Find out. The worst that can happen is what? The worst that can happen is they say, it's not going to work. I don't like the money. Then just don't do it. There's nothing else to worry about. So, home investors, here's the number. Find out. 800-44-BUYER. 800-44 buyer. In this crazy world, people might need a defense attorney. I'm not even going to go there. Could be a DUI, could be a traffic, could be assault, could be getting into an argument. Somebody says you did something. Somebody says you yelled too loud. Who knows? Joe Lazzara is a criminal defense attorney. I've been with him for 30 years promoting him, and I've done the shopping for you so you don't have to shop under stress. He does free consultations initially, of course, free initial consultations, then flat rate pricing. 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200, and you can find him at referralist.com. If you're looking to get your carpets cleaned, especially before the holidays, a lot of people do this, I want to tell you about Zerorez and why I use them. There are zero chemicals, zero emulsifiers, zero anything, no soap, nothing. Well, how do they clean? Zerorez cleans with empowered water. They've actually patented it. It has to do with water being super soft and alkaline based, and it's a great cleaner. And Zerorez has utilized this along with special scrubbing techniques to get deep into the fibers. And by the way, they don't do anything like that would wear out the carpet. They don't get it super wet. It dries faster, stays cleaner longer. ZerorezDenver.com, $119 now for 3 room areas. Give them a call to find out. 303-471-5150, 471-5150.
Broken switch, inoperative outlet, maybe flickering lights? Plumbline Services can help. Take the mystery out of electrical problems with a low-cost $21 whole house electrical inspection. Turn to the experts you trust. Plumbline Services, earning your trust since 1998 with a second location serving clients in Boulder, Longmont, and more. Service at home. Servants at heart. Schedule online at PlumlineServices.com. No phone call, no hassle, no wait. PlumlineServices.com.
Hi, break time? I know you. I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. It seems like you take care of yourself.
I do. I play tennis. I try to eat well.
What about screening for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. Colon cancer is more treatable when it's caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and is used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit requestcologuard.com.
I'm on it.
Excellent.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
Sunshine is back today. We'll see some clearing skies throughout the day, leaving us with an afternoon with temperatures in the mid to upper 50s and lots of sunshine and light wind. I'm Fox 31 Pinpoint Weather Team meteorologist Kylie Burse.
Lowe's Provember event is back, and they're thanking pros like you all month long with top values on pro brands like DeWalt and Spyder. Online or in stores through November 24th. Lowe's, the new home for pros. U.S. only.
Denver's talk station. Online at khout.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Frank Duran, the real estate man, will do free valuations of your home based on the open market on what he thinks it will sell for. It's not an appraisal. In fact, I think it's more accurate than an appraisal. You'll need an appraisal for your loan, but things are selling for way more than appraisals, and he uses his information that he's gathered along with your home to find out what it will sell for. And there's no obligation, and it's free. 303-920-1622. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Mark has another question. He said his partners aced him out. He doesn't know why or how. They just amended the agreement. They had no authority to do so. I don't know how they did it. I know why they did it. They're assuming with 2 members they outvoted you. And that goes for a lot of things. It depends on how your partnership agreement is written. If it's written in such a way that they can do that, then they did it. They just did it. But usually there's all kinds of wording about liquidating a partner, like you got to pay them or you got to do something, or you have to give them notice. I don't know how they did it. Without seeing your agreements, I don't know how they would have done it. But all I'm saying is this. What they file with the state has no bearing on reality unless the operating agreements that you all agree to reflect it.
What's the name of it, by the way?
So April 5th is when they did that, removing me. But then on April 18th, they dissolved the company. And then after that, they wanted me to buy them out. And I have all these emails, and that shows that...
I don't even know what he means, once again, on dissolve the company. How did they dissolve the company? What steps did they go through to dissolve the company?
They filed, again, with the state, a dissolution paper.
Oh, so they did not amend anything. They dissolved the existing company and opened a new one.
No. They removed me on the 5th and dissolved on the 18th.
Oh, so now the entire company's out of business, including the new one without you.
Yes.
Why would they do that? Why would they go through the trouble of removing you and then dissolving?
And having me supposedly vote on dissolving the company on the 18th.
Okay, but here, listen. Why did they do it, though? What's the whole purpose? They don't want to do this anymore?
They don't want to do it anymore, but the one partner woke up one day and said he couldn't work with me.
Okay, but what about the IP? Who owns it?
I don't know.
Well, who filed it? Who's the owner? Is the LLC the owner? Who's the owner?
See, that's where I don't understand enough about business. I would assume we're all three owners.
Well, you said it's IP. Is it a patented IP?
No, it's not a patented IP.
There's no IP. Is it a piece of software, or did you say data records?
It was software developed for Trail Taker by
so you have a copyright? Do you have a copyright?
When we do not.
Who created it?
The one business partner.
Okay, then he owns it. Unless, with the absence of anything else, he owns it, if he created it. If you don't have any other agreement, he owns it. So I suspect...
Well, he created it under working for Trail Taker, which is the company.
What's that?
He created it while working for Trail Taker.
Does Trail Taker have an agreement with him saying that anything he creates is theirs?
No.
Okay, well then screw it. Do you have an agreement that, is he a W-2 employee of Trail Taker?
No.
Okay, well 1099 people have all their own stuff and have no obligation to a company. Listen, man, you went about this the wrong way, and now you're lamenting it. So you have to go see an attorney. You have to go see an attorney. And listen, I suspect he owns the copyright. I suspect he's the one, and the reason they're doing this is because you told them there was $150,000 out there, and I think this guy is going to make the $150,000.
Well, that's when I will for sure sue, but I don't know when that is a good time. Do I preemptively, or do I wait until they actually
first of all, I don't know. I have no idea. You have to see an attorney. I have no idea. I don't even know if there is going to be a $150,000 transaction. Does he know who wanted to buy it?
He does, but he doesn't have the contacts that I do.
Okay, and here's another thing I want to know, Mark. There must be a reason. If they knew there was $150,000 on the table, there must be a reason why they dissolved the company. And the only reason I can think of is that he wants that money all to himself, or the two of them want the money, but that doesn't make sense because they dissolved the company. So now the only thing they have is intellectual property owned by the creator. So I don't even know how you personally make a claim for that. Did you work on it?
Well, I worked on the website and growing the business.
Okay, well then that's going to be a long and involved lawsuit that will well exceed $150,000. Well, your part alone. Your part alone on an IP lawsuit having to do with how much you contributed and how much you're owed would get, Mark, what do you say? Minimum $200,000 minimum to get to court. Minimum $200,000. Talk to any IP attorney just to get in the door. So I think you have a lot of nothing. That's what I think. I'm sorry about that. Ricky, what's going on? And listen, people, never leave anything to chance. Not intellectual property, nothing. Don't leave it to chance. And an LLC is simply a tax vehicle. They call it limited liability. You know, it is only in the sense that it owns stuff and it's limited to the stuff it owns. But they can pierce that and go to the owner of the LLC if the owner of the LLC is acting and doing something. Hey, Ricky, what's going on with mold?
Hello.
What's happening?
Yeah, there's a serious mold problem here at the Golden Spike Apartments. You know, like I've been living here 4 years. It's caused me to it's starting to cause me to cramp up my body, and
Now, how do you know there's a mold issue?
Well, you could see it on the walls and you could smell it when you walk inside the
Has anyone ever had the air tested?
Yeah, they had the air tested once here and they said there was nothing here, but my body's saying different, like I said, you could see the mold and
when they did the test, they said it wasn't a problem?
Yeah, they said it wasn't a problem. And it was one of their buddies.
What are you looking for right now? You can move.
Yeah, that's the only problem, though. This is like Section 8 housing and, or not,
okay.
This is housing.
I understand.
And,
so what are you looking for, Ricky? I need to know, you want to make them fix it or what? What's happening?
Yeah, I want to make them fix it because, I already had one dog pass away. The other one's sick, and, I go in and out of the ERs all the time because I'm having allergic reactions.
All right, hold on and come back to you. See what we can do.
So, now watch. Colorado Secretary of State, it says here, file a form for a new record or file a form for an existing record down here for changing or correcting information. That's where you can correct information. So we'll go to it. You can okay.
I realize you can upload, if you're saying you can upload your operating agreement, which you changed, of course you can.
Well, that's where you file it. That's where they did it.
I don't know why anybody would upload their operating agreement to the Secretary of State.
Also, your articles of organization you can amend.
No, go to your articles. There's nothing on there that has anything to do with officers. That's all I'm saying. I know you can upload documents.
That becomes part of the public record, I think, and that's
why would anybody upload their fucking private shit with their private company to Colorado Secretary of State? There's not a fucking purpose in the world for it, man.
Well, because people want that level. And then also, there is a document that you have to file every year that you restate.
Yeah, the periodic report.
And that's where you change the officers. You can do that there, too. Hold on.
Wendy's.
So many people are looking for investments. There are safe, conservative investments like Become the Banker. It's more of a strategy, but an investment. What you do is you open up an account, and it grows tax-free. It's that simple. If you follow their strategy, it's tax-free. Now, life insurance happens to be a benefit of the program, but you're only paying about 1% toward life insurance for the first few years. The rest of it is in a cash account growing tax-free. The idea is to use it as a bank instead of a credit card, then have it for retirement. BecomeTheBanker.org. For more information, BecomeTheBanker.org, 303-779-6600. The art of granite is not just granite. The art of granite is a whole company of countertops, whether it be granite, quartz, marble, whatever solid surface you want, even man-made. And Mitch Floria will give you a price on the phone. He's the owner. What you can do is go to theartofgranite.com or call him. Tell him what you have in mind, and you'll get a price on the phone. Tear out and haul away is free. The bathroom's free when you do the kitchen, and all materials are wholesale. 303-386-5919. That's 303-386-5919.
Do you have pain, numbness, or tingling in your hands or feet? Hi, it's Pat Woodard, and if you have peripheral neuropathy, skip the drugs and injections. Visit Neuropathy Treatment Center of Colorado. Trusted for more than 25 years, their team uses the latest treatments to start relieving neuropathy in just a few sessions. No drugs, no injections. Schedule your exam and first treatment today for only $49. Call 303-858-8288 or visit neuropathytreatmentcenterofcolorado.com. Neuropathy Treatment Center of Colorado, Colorado in Castle Rock.
Hey, Colorado friends. Are your missing or failing teeth holding you back from the foods you love? At Clear Choice, we understand. Your teeth are an important part of how you look and feel, and it's easier to enjoy all of the great food and fun Colorado is famous for when you're at your best. It's time to get a free consultation at Colorado's Clear Choice. Our doctors are leaders in restoring oral health and function. Dental implants offer a permanent solution so you can appreciate all of life's pleasures, including our delicious local food. Led by Dr. Jovic and Dr. Mackert, Colorado's Clear Choice teams provide options for lasting tooth replacement. Take control of your health and gain the freedom to live the life you want. Go to clearchoice.com and schedule your free consultation. Today's the day to get back out there and experience Colorado's amazing food worry-free. Visit clearchoice.com.
Michael Brown for Boll & Branch Signature Sheets. You know, one of the things that really helps me getting a good night's sleep is the amazing comfort of my Boll & Branch Signature Sheets. And you know how much I love quality goods, made with passion for both the process and the product. Well, Boll & Branch is 100% organic fair trade cotton. These sheets are made only in family-owned facilities, and that's really important to us. The sheets are buttery soft, and they get even better wash after wash. We're giving them as gifts this year. That's how much we like them. We're giving family comfort, sustainability, and amazing quality, all at a fair price. So treat yourself and your loved ones to the new standard embedding from Boll & Branch. Their gifts come wrapped and ready in their special holiday packaging. Order by December 19 for guaranteed delivery by Christmas. And get 20% off your first set of sheets with promo code KHAL at bollandbranch.com. That's BOLL and branch.com, promo code KHAL. See site for details. Exclusions might apply.
As we age, we can't always plan on good health, but you can plan on good long-term care coverage to give peace of mind to you and your family by protecting everything you've worked hard for and the people you care about most. How can you decide which long-term care plan is best for your situation? Listen to Long-Term Care Radio here on KHOW every Saturday at 1 p.m. with your host, Certified Long-Term Care Planning Specialist Brian Ott from 525 Advisors. And download the podcast at 525longtermcare.com. Long-term care is a huge part of your retirement planning. A plan from 525 Advisors makes sure your care is funded and managed when you need it. They even have plans with lifetime benefits that pay you back if you never use it. You can also get questions answered, learn how long-term care works, and discover all the new options and different ways to fund a plan by joining Brian Ott for a free long-term care planning live webinar Saturday, November 13th at 10 a.m. Sign up now at 525longtermcare.com.
Take the stress out of holiday shopping with Colorado Rockies gift cards. They can be used for Rockies tickets, merchandise, and concessions at Coors Field, plus they don't expire. So it's the perfect choice for the Rockies fans on your list. Give the gift of Rockies baseball this holiday season by going to Rockies.com/giftcard today.
Kitchens, baths, counters, and floors, and even replacement windows and doors, you have our word we'll treat you right at Dunright. 800-362-8370. Call now and let us entice you with 15% holiday savings. 800-362-8370.
Or Troubleshooter 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Welcome to the show. What is happening? Ricky has a mold issue, he says, that's making him sick, but they said they had the air tested and it wasn't a problem. Ricky, listen, I don't know how you make them fix it if they don't acknowledge it's a problem. The only way to do that is for you to have your own independent test that they won't influence, and then you decide if you have an issue, you can make them fix it. But you said they've done their own test, but you don't trust them, right, Ricky?
Yeah.
Now, listen, here's another thing, Ricky. Here's another thing you need to know. Even if there is mold, if it's not deadly toxic or above EPA recommended standards, and you happen to have a sensitivity, that's not enough to make them fix it.
Okay.
So, in other words, it might be really making you sick, but it doesn't necessarily mean it would make me sick or someone else. So, unless you show it's a clear danger for health and safety, There's not much you can do about it. You're convinced, though, that it's affecting you, right?
Yeah, they have a water damage here bad, and throughout.
I don't doubt there's mold, but without you having it tested, you're only fighting them. They're saying there is no problem, and they're going to show you test results to prove it. And you have to show your own test results that refute it.
You can call Rock and Associates on our referral list, and he can come out and test it.
Yeah, they can test it. They do mold testing, Mark.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, that's American Restoration. I don't know what they charge for that. Suze, maybe we ought to find out what they charge for mold testing. In fact, call Rock over at American Restoration. 833-7AM-REST. Let's do that and find out. What's going on with you, Elizabeth? What's happening?
Well, I just wanted to let you know about a problem out at DIA that certain airlines are requiring that you have a COVID test for international travel within 24 hours of leaving. We got to the airport with negative COVID tests, but they said that they weren't acceptable because it would be more than 72 hours by the time we got to Italy. So they sent us to this place called Express Check for a quick test in the airport. This Express Check is charging $250 each for a rapid COVID test that anywhere else is free or with your health insurance. And I just think it's a total ripoff.
Well, what it is it's called exploitation because they know they got you over a barrel. It's like anything they sell at the airport.
Right.
I mean, it really is. I mean, there's no law against it that I know of. Where is this place? Where is this place at the airport?
Concourse B.
And how long does it take?
Express Check. Oh, like 15 minutes or something like that to get the test.
Oh my God! And what do you see? Here's the thing: they know if you don't pay that $250, you don't go on your trip.
Right.
I wonder how many. Was it crowded, by the way?
Yes.
I do think it's a ripoff, but let's define ripoff. They're not cheating. They're taking advantage. There's a difference. I mean, there really is. Mark, what were you going to say about it?
Well, my son had to get one about 3 weeks ago, and it was $300.
But not a rapid test, though, was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was $300. Came back negative, of course, because he had it already. One of these, what do you call them?
Urgent care.
In urgent care, but his insurance covered it, but it was $300. If he didn't have coverage, it was $300. So I don't think $250 is crazy, is all I'm saying. Well, I think it's crazy, but I'm saying that's like the going rate.
But no, I mean, health insurance should cover it.
Okay, why doesn't your health insurance... Wait, that's a whole separate question. Why doesn't your health insurance
Because it's optional. Because it's optional.
Okay.
That's why. Elizabeth,
I'm going to submit it to.
I want to ask you something.
I'm going to submit it to the health insurance.
Did you go to Italy?
Yes, but we had to go 2 days late because.
Why?
We were going on a tour, and it's a long story, but we were there that day, October 10th, when there was a big Southwest fiasco.
Oh, but that had nothing to do with the COVID test.
No, but it made it impossible to get to the COVID test and get back in time to make the flight, even though we were there 3 hours early.
Let me ask you this, Elizabeth. When you were in Italy, how long did you stay?
Well, I wasn't even going to Italy. I was going to Croatia.
Oh, Croatia. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said Italy, but okay. How long?
No, because we flew into the Italy
How long were you there? How long were you there?
10 days.
Did you have to get another test to come home?
Yes.
Holy crap. How much was that?
It cost like $12.
At the airport?
No, it was arranged by the tour company. But, why is it $12 in Croatia and $250 in Denver?
Same reason medication.
They're ripping them off.
No, they rip us off on everything. There's no doubt about it. We pay more for any medical thing than virtually any other place in the world.
Wake up, people.
Is there someone that can let me out in the parking lot and get some clogged outside of my truck?
Here, just take my card. When you come up on the elevator, you got to wave it. You'll see on the side.
And some roadworks
To the door.
the day, 70, 60s.
If the door's locked, just look around for a thing.
But the thing is red and
He had a
33.
COVID test. He's vaccinated. He had a COVID test. He just has a cold.
I don't even like it. That's so funny you said that. The last thing that went through my mind was he had COVID. You're still in COVID mode.
Am I to understand that the last thing this woman said was that she was going to submit it to her health insurance?
Yeah.
Which means she has not.
It won't cover it.
I don't know why they wouldn't fucking
Go
cover
in.
it.
But the point
Just
is,
because they won't check. They
it's a
don't
moot
cover
point.
the routine test. Hold on.
She hasn't even tried.
FixMyHome.com.
FixMyHome.com. That's the website for Fix It 24/7. I'll also give you the number. This is the time to call. You feel the cold coming. Don't wait till it's frigid and you don't have options. Fix It will come out to your house to find any problem for just $39. And when they find a problem, if they do, they credit you the $39. But better than that, if you've never had this done, you can have your furnace completely cleaned and refurbished and adjusted for $39. That's an extra special, and a no breakdown guarantee through the winter. And even if they found something wrong, you have time to think about it because it's not frigid. Call them, 720-526-3939, 720-526-3939. If you're looking for a loan, man, does Affordable Interest Mortgage have options for you. They have conventional, they have VA, they have FHA, they have jumbo loans, they have the fix-up loan, which is incredible. You might want to fix up a house, but you don't have the money, right? So when you go to buy it, if you get this special loan from from Affordable Interest Mortgage, what you can do is get the money escrowed at closing, and they will give you an appraisal based on the improvement. Think about that. Then the money is put into escrow for you to use to improve the house. It's a fix-up loan. Affordable Interest Mortgage does a lot of those. They also have the liquid loan, which is a checking account that you can draw money out of your equity anytime you need it, put it back. It's a 30-year line of credit with simple interest. 720-895-0500. 720-895-0500.
The Sharpest Rise in Englewood wants to keep you safe
There's
in.
a big caveat to that. They're going to cover it at whatever the Medicare rate is, which is probably $11.
Well, hold on. You're talking about Medicare? Why Medicare?
Well, because she sounded old as fuck.
Mark, all I know is this. I can't go and just get a routine test and have it covered.
All I'm saying is she never submitted it, so we don't know what.
But even if she did, wouldn't you agree they're only going to pay the Medicare rate?
It depends on whether or not that company has an agreement with our insurance company.
Well, I'm assuming, once again, she's on Medicare.
It won't matter.
Oh, Paul's not in here. I don't really care. Paul's not in here. I said, okay, the one you're talking about, they're not even in building. For the liquidator show, is that who you were talking about, maybe?
No, it's a complaint.
Yeah, they're not even in. Maybe they used to be on.
I'm going to send it to you. Just get
But then that made me think of the liquidators one. That's Susan's account. So I said, hey, their last two payments and referral list. I don't know if I have an expired card. I'm not really. She goes, oh, they stopped all their advertising. Then she emails, oh, I'll call them.
Oh, just tell her I'll handle it. I'd much rather.
Well, that was 2 days ago, or yesterday. So I don't. You want me to send you the email? So you can.
Yeah, I'm going to call and collect. I mean, yeah, just send me whatever I
Okay,
need.
because someone tells me, oh, they stopped for the season.
I have no idea who they. I have no idea either. But
yeah. Okay.
I mean, referral list has nothing to do with
Right.
Susan and anybody else on the planet, you know?
Well, she gets a cut on that particular one. She has like 2 or 3 referral list member ones. That's why I was talking to her about it. Paul, did you find your way around?
Yes, I'm figuring this. Obviously, he's back fast.
Okay.
Can I get another bottle of water from you?
Of course. Let me go grab you a cold one for sure.
Suze, would you get 2, please?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay, let's see here. that was, what did they just say that was?
A breath of fresh air. Their team put me at ease by explaining my policy and making sure I only paid for what I needed. It felt great to know I was protecting my employees while saving money.
Hey, Paul, what's the best time? I'm building a house. I don't know if you know that. What's the best time to contact you as far as what I want is filtration just at the main sink in the kitchen and water softener throughout the house.
Here, your hydration.
What would be
Go.
the best time?
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Right before they
Come on, wants a bottle too.
the CO, the certificate of occupancy.
Right before.
What you're going to want to do is tell your builder to make sure that he allows a water treatment. Because what happens, Doc, is that they have the water comes in on one side of the basement, the utility runs on the other side of the basement, and then here it shuts in the closet.
Maybe you're waiting to talk to your doctor right now.
The way to do filtration. So they need to know you want a filtration, so then they plumb the hole they have.
Fatigue or lightheadedness, just wait.
Tell me where you building.
Condition like atrial fibrillation, which
It's
can
called
make
prelude.
you
It's
about
like
5
you
times
know
more
what
likely to have
happened
a
waters
stroke.
is on
If you're
Mississippi
having these symptoms,
and Valencia.
don't wait. Talk to a
No,
doctor.
It's right
by
it's on
phone,
Mississippi and
online,
Valencia.
or in person.
You want to make sure the builder understands.
I love the picture of the mold the guy says. Now,
Water,
just
tell me
fuck
when
me.
the water's
Looks like art.
What the fuck is that? Oh, here's a mold I have.
Art.
God.
I don't need filtration for the main sink. I don't need it for the rest.
All right, 303-713-8255. You've been ripped off, taken advantage of. We do have some lines open. 303-713-8255. Hey, what is this I see, Suzanne? Someone asked Ken about McDonald's girl, Megan. What is that?
Yeah, Mark, you took that call a few days ago, and
Well,
she
no,
hung
no,
up on us,
it
and
was-
Ken said he was going to call her. The
It
girl
wa-
who needed $8,000 for rent.
It was Monday. Remember the girl?
Oh, wait a second.
The girl that worked
hold
at
on.
McDonald's.
I got it. We got to recap
Calm
it so
down.
people understand what the hell we're talking about. So this girl calls in. She works at McDonald's. She's been there 4 or 5 years. She claimed to be $8,000 back in rent.
$5,000 then she
Well,
adjusted.
we turned out she adjusted it down to $5,000.
She sounded sincere. We said, hey, we don't want to help meth heads who...
That's right.
Because it's too hard. And yeah, she sounded very sincere. What happened?
Well, until the discrepancy, and I started quizzing her about it, she said that Catholic Charities paid $500 towards her rent. We found out because they happened to be listening, which happens all the time on this show. They called up and said, no, we actually gave her $1,000. So as I was just asking her about that, she was upset to literally hang up. So she hung up, dial tone, the whole bit. Then Ken said, hey, I think she's just scared. I'm going to call her after the show. So what happened, Ken?
I called her and I left a message saying, look, I'm really sorry. I think you misunderstood the whole process.
And I bet you never heard back from her.
Well, I only left a message yesterday, so let's see what happens. Give her today, and we'll see what happens. She may be at work, but I please call back. We'd love to talk to you, and don't be insulted by the questions. We're merely trying to weed out the scammers.
That's probably why you're not going to hear back from her.
Why do you think she's pulling a scam? What do you think?
Well, it's not even that she's pulling a scam. How do you get how do you get $8,000 back, which she wanted? Whoops, I'm sorry, it's only $5,000. And then you get how much money someone just gave you for rent a couple months ago completely wrong.
And not one effort towards rent at all since August.
Yeah, so now 3 months goes by and not even $100 has been put towards rent.
So she hasn't paid rent.
And she said that's because she was being foolish.
She hasn't paid rent for a long time, as I remember.
She's going to get kicked out. That's the bottom line. I mean, she is going to get kicked out for not paying rent.
303-713-TALK is our number. Paul the Waterman.
When did it become acceptable you don't pay rent but you live there? I mean, when?
Well, with COVID.
Well, I guess so, and people are pretty used to that now.
That's the answer.
And it's actually becoming, I mean, by the way, what happened to the mass evictions? I haven't heard of any.
Well, I think they're coming slow like this, like for real. They're coming slow. Look how long it's taking to get into a courtroom right now. So if you truly do go through an eviction, I would like to hear from maybe one of our property managers how long, if they're actually fighting it and they want to show up at the hearing. Maybe hearings are way out. I don't know.
Yeah, we ought to hear from people if they have any comments on that.
So what do you think of Virginia last night? I don't want to get political, but holy crap. Biden took that state by over 10 points, and now we have a Republican governor there.
I think if it was a referendum, I don't think it had anything to do with Trump. I don't think it had anything to do with Democrat or Republican. I really mean that. What it had to do with is a referendum, not even on Biden. It was a referendum on the people of Virginia and how they felt their freedoms were being abridged. That's what I think.
Yeah, no say in what happens in schools with their kids was
right.
a big part of it.
I think that they just felt that they were being bamboozled and they were being bullied and they were fighting back. And I don't think there's proof it has little to do with party because of all the swings in all the counties. It had little to do with party allegiance, very little. It had very little to do with Biden. It had to do with how those guys campaigned.
They were basically voting anybody out that had anything to do with the last year.
Or anything to do with what they felt was abridging their freedom.
Yeah. I think it was anti-progressive.
No, it was big time.
I think it was I think it was parents speaking out don't tell me what I am. That's what it was. Don't tell me what I am.
You know, the Democrats, they do one thing that drives me insane. Well, they do a lot of things, but they seem to talk down to people. If you ever question anything that a true liberal that wants socialism is talking about, well, you know, why should we do that? Oh, well, don't even think about that. You're wrong about that. There's never an argument. It's like an elitist attitude.
Now, by the way,
we're little, they're big.
By the way, that's not me, folks. Don't even bother emailing me,
That
please.
was Tom.
Don't even bother emailing me. By the way, we have more coming up. I'm hoping you need help, problems, questions, and complaints. I'd like to know if you've been evicted or are evicting anyone as a result of the non-payment during COVID. We also have Paul the Waterman on, and we're going to talk about water pros.
Okay, I'm going to call them real quick. Yeah, what a... They also took flipped the house in Virginia.
Oh, they went Republican right down. Yeah. Even in some of these little counties where they're banning school boards and stuff.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Tom?
You sure as hell did. Yeah, they
fuck yeah, they did. It was crazy.
I think I have to agree with one comment I heard. I think that last night made Joe Manchin, king in the Senate.
Well, I think a lot of people that probably thought like him, they're going to go, man, if I really want my seat in 2022, I better start questioning shit like him, or they're going to toss my ass out.
Yeah, because he's making sense. He's like, let's lay this out. What's it really going to cost us?
Obama lost, I want to say, 50 House members. I mean, it was a red wave. They're looking at something way bigger than this.
Yeah. If you keep going with the high price of gas, and then if we have food shortages, this is...
When was the way when...
Hey, little Timmy not getting the newest G.I. Joe at Christmas is a huge fucking thing.
When was the big shift when Gingrich and all those guys came in?
92,
94? I think it was 92. It was an off year.
I logged in for your Kaiser appointment, and it's at Franklin. So we can come in tomorrow together.
Oh, so in Denver.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll just wait here until you get back. I have both APO guys in tomorrow, Tom.
What?
I have both APO guys in tomorrow. John Goodhue and Brian Gray. Sounds like Fruity Pebbles in here. I know it's...
So if you think about it, Biden was going to fix COVID. He was going to fix the economy and get that moving.
You don't generally smell like Fruity Pebbles.
Get us out of Afghanistan. Well, he did that in about 3 hours. Is John there?
It's funny. I couldn't smell you. I couldn't smell your signature smell this morning. I never smelled it. So I don't know if I lost it or.
I looked at it back yesterday. I ran out.
Yeah. I know you went and got your concoction.
And I had mixed it up quickly this morning. I'm not sure if I got it right.
This is ABC News. A new study finds a drop in suicide rates during the pandemic.
All right, I'm not saying I'm eating a Kit Kat, but
Sure, you need to kick that. You do. Kick yourself later. The YouTubers wanted to see your shirt. Oh, he did? I didn't know. I'm surprised he hasn't been shot out there.
Biden. Not in front of a camera.
Too bad you missed it. We got a slow camera operator.
Let's go.
He's on Medicare in his fucking 70s.
Now, just stand up where you're at.
Okay, let's there. And it's let's go Brandon, not Biden. Have the news people given you any ugly looks?
I like the hashtag FJB. I wonder what that means.
Means find Joe Biden.
Find Joe Biden. He's sleeping somewhere. What else was he going to do? He was going to, like, what, lower food prices? Oh, get the economy rolling along again.
Keep inflation down.
Oh, yeah, he was going to keep inflation down. Then, when inflation started coming up, he denied it was there. He did fall asleep, though, during the fucking solar-powered, we're going to fucking change the weather bullshit.
With Walgreens Find Our Coverage tool, you can compare plans online, over the phone, or in person.
All they did in Glasgow is increase our gas prices.
Glasgow, actually all of them admitted they did fucking nothing. First of all, China and Russia said fuck you.
That's right.
If China's not involved, none of it fucking matters. They create more emissions than anybody in the fucking world times 100.
And here's my question. How come the hate from Joey, what's that lady on MSNBC, Joey
Barr?
Yeah. How come her hate, is allowed in that question? I mean, she's a conservative, because she's a progressive Democrat.
She's angry as fuck.
Man, did you hear? She was called us white supremacists for, the parents are white supremacists. Who is? Oh, that one woman? Yeah.
In Virginia. What they're starting to learn is that tactic is not working. People are finally going, wait a minute. I'm not a fucking racist. Fuck you.
Right. That's the intimidation. If you don't go our way, you're a racist.
Yeah, and people finally get sick of it. Then you start fucking with women and their children.
And tell them
get the fuck out of here.
And then tell them that, if you don't need to, to have an input in your kid's education.
I couldn't believe their governor, literally said that. It wasn't like something you twisted around. He literally said that.
It's none of your business.
It's none of your business what we're teaching your kids.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
And then they tried to walk it. Well, actually, he didn't even try to walk it back. Everybody tried to walk it back on his behalf. But think about it. They sent out Obama. They sent out Sleepy Joe. They sent out Kamala. Kamala was my favorite because she gets up there and told everybody, hey, if we lose Virginia, we're fucked. That means we suck. And then they lose it.
They lose it all.
God, that woman opens her mouth up when she should just keep it shut.
And what has she done? She hasn't done nothing. What is she? I mean, this isn't.
Well, she's in charge of the border. You've seen that.
They said, I don't know, they say.
But you guys don't realize that's the whole strategy.
Yeah, but Doc, look where we proved last night the strategy is not working.
Their strategy, the less she does, the less there's going to be a campaign against her in 2024.
She's not running that. They would never put her up in 2024. All you're going to see is border fucking pictures. Here's what she managed. She had one job to do. Here's how she did it. They will never put her up.
Google or YouTube the lieutenant governor that won at her speech.
They didn't even think about it. They didn't even fucking put Biden up after Obama. They said this motherfucker ain't gonna win.
So who are they gonna run in 2024?
I'll tell you who they should run. They need to find a Clinton or a fucking Kennedy with different last names, younger. They don't look mean and angry. They don't call people racist, and they're middle of the road. And guess what? They'll have a fucking good shot.
Is it a time to Dr. Lee? 303. I'm consumer advocate Tom.
They need to find a whole new thing, man, like they used to have.
It's harder and harder to find a middle of the road Democrat.
I don't know if that's true, man. Well, I realize there's about 98 of them there, making it feel like everything is that far left. But let's not forget one thing. Has anything fucking changed yet?
What do you mean? No. What's changed?
nothing.
I mean, they haven't passed shit. They haven't
Well,
done
the
shit.
economy's gone into the tank with
Well,
inflation.
that's all Biden. I mean, that's executive orders. There's nothing we can change about executive orders.
This whole thing about these fucking...
He wants to kill pipelines and do all this shit.
And now
Congress has nothing to say
we're
about it.
importing oil from OPEC at $8 a gallon.
It's fucking ridiculous.
You know what the Democrats are scared of? The lieutenant governor that won last night.
Oh, she's good. She's a Marine or
She's a Marine. Did you hear her speech?
First black woman, too, lieutenant governor. Actually, I think first black elected official in Virginia, which is as progressive as they are. I was a little stunned.
I couldn't believe that.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Now we just got to get West Virginia. That might take a little while.
Welcome to the show. GenesisSolarCO.com. GenesisSolarCO.com. Call for your 20-minute evaluation of your lot. And you will get a free Yeti cup just for calling for that. And that 20 minutes doesn't take any of your time. They do it off-site by satellite. What they're doing is evaluating your lot for solar, and they'll let you know precisely what you will produce, what you will save, and they will actually guarantee in writing the production for 25 years and write you a check for every year they miss it. At the end of every year, from the manufacturer, also a 25-year warranty from the manufacturer. GenesisSolarCO.com. And the number is 303-474-4317. 303-474-4317. Paul the Waterman is with us, talking water. And I'll give you calls for problems. And we would like to hear from anyone who's had to evict anyone. We've heard that we're going to be massive evictions at the end of really. And I'd like to know, are you being evicted? Or are you a landlord who's I'd like to know. 713-TALK, 713-8255. Call the Waterman. Paul, what are forever chemicals? Is it a myth or is it for real? I'm hearing about forever chemicals. What are they?
It's for real. It's all the cleaning products. It's the chlorine. It's the ammonia. It's the...
Why do they call them forever chemicals?
Because they're not going to. It's the PFOs, PFAs, they're in the water. It's in our water for good. It doesn't disappear. And so, the older the community gets, the more contamination there is. Filtration is necessary.
Publishes online a water report and what's in the water. People should take interest and look at that at Tree. Go and call your water district. They'll tell you where to find it.
But wouldn't the EPA say some levels are acceptable for those forever chemicals?
That's exactly right, and some aren't. And that's why, the PFOs and PFAs, for example, are all the water-resistant chemicals, and it's also used in the firefighting foam that's in the water that ends up in our water supply from the
Okay, so bottom line then, to get out these forever chemicals, a water purification system works?
Yeah, point of use reverse osmosis, just like what you...
Point of use reverse osmosis, 3 filters, And how does so that water is essentially coming out without any chemicals?
Yeah, you're going to get a 98 to 99.999% reduction of all those chemicals. It's because it's nanofiltration. The reverse osmosis membrane is...
Does it do away with chlorine?
Absolutely.
Really? Mm-hmm. So it does that much?
Yes. Yep. I think down the road, water filtration is going to be as common in a home as the hot water heater, the furnace. It's just going to be something we're going to have to deal with.
Okay. All right. So bottom line is forever chemicals without literally purification in your home.
Correct.
Now, you don't need it for your whole house, do you?
Well, I would just use it for the point of use for drinking water and for cooking.
That's what I would do, but you can get a whole house purification.
You can do whole house purification. You can, it's a lot of things. Also, you have to consider high chlorine content in the shower. Our skin absorbs, right? So that's and there's a lot of people out there that have allergies to the chloramine. So the needs of filtration are going to be based upon the individual desire, and also an individual's health reaction to what's in the water.
Okay. All right. So bottom line then, you have drinking water and you can have it for under $1,000 in the kitchen.
Correct.
Okay. Then what is the need? Okay. Purification. Is that also considered treatment, or what is another name for purification? For filtering? What's another name?
Well, so you got water purification. To me, is the ultimate, is where you take everything out as much as possible out of the water.
But so that's what the reverse osmosis.
Osmosis.
Okay. Okay. Softening doesn't necessarily purify the water.
No. Break it down to two ways. The working water, the water that you bathe in and you do the laundry in, that's whole house filtration. The water that you use for drinking and for cooking, that's purification.
So whole house filtration is different than whole house purification.
Absolutely. I'm a stickler on terms, and that's exactly correct.
Whole house filtration then is not even softening. That's a separate thing.
That's right. So whole house filtration. So look at it this way. You have conditioning that removes the total chlorine in the house and can fight other contaminants. That's what we use our one cartridge for. Water softening, I think, is the start to filtration, because hard water damages water filters. If you have a water softener, you're allowing the water filter to filter out the contaminants and not get beat up by the hardness. If you've ever been to somebody's home and you see a refrigerator where the ice cubes and the water dispenser and all that white powdered calcium buildup, that's proof that there's no such thing as salt-free water softeners. Those are the biggest scams out there in the world. And so what water softening does is take the hardness out and then allows the other filters to filter more.
In your softening systems for the house under $2,000, does it include filtration?
No, it's just straight water softening. If you want to do filtration, it's another $400 more. Than we have other systems that, cost more.
Okay, so you could do filtration for $400 on top of that. Softening.
Yep.
Softening alone simply softens the water.
Correct.
But you still have what in it?
Well, you still have the total chlorine content in it.
Okay. And filtration would take that out.
Yes.
Okay. But if you have whole house softening and a fountain at the kitchen for drinking, that would be enough, right?
Well, yes. But again, it all depends on the total chlorine content, because I can give you soft water, but if your chlorine levels are high, that could also create dry skin and other issues. So
you're saying chlorine is not just bad for drinking, it's bad for your skin.
Absolutely correct.
It is.
Yeah, well, it's just like if you go on a vacation, you're in the swimming pool at the resort, what happens? You got to go, take a shower, because all the chlorine in there that's a disinfectant dries the skin, it's itchy, it's uncomfortable. And that's the same kind of what they're doing to your water supply as sanitation.
Now, you do water testing. I want to talk about that coming up. 303-713-TALK is our number. If you have any questions about water purification, water softening, listen, it's a giant scam industry. That's why we have Paul the Waterman here. Plus, if you have any problems, questions, or complaints, did someone lie to you, cheat you, rip you off? If you need help with a consumer problem, 303-713-TALK.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but Then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try.
Did you get the audio figured out?
ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
I got the audio figured out, but this left channel on this part right here is shit. This is making the audio work by jacking it halfway out the phone.
So while other companies might deliver what you may, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
Statewide, 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free.
Paragon is
That's
coming
right.
up.
Thank you.
At ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
I'm going to give you two very important contacts. One is a number, one is a website for American Restoration. Now, the reason I'm going to make this clear is we're going into a season now where people have some water problems, electrical problems, fires, different things. If you have a fire, a flood, maybe mold. We heard about mold on this show just earlier in the first hour. Then we heard about other things. And if you have crime, unattended death, a meth lab, whatever, you need all the certifications, all of them. And that's what American Restoration has. But do you realize that there's more of a chance of getting a ripoff than not when you go to the internet? So you need someone you can trust. They're asbestos certified as well. They can remediate flood damage within hours, remove mold and toxic substances. They have the latest in technology and equipment. 8337-AMREST. They work with all insurance. 8337-AMREST or AMREST247.com.
All right, if you ever have any issues with your homeowner's company, let's say the adjuster isn't paying you the fair amount, or even better yet, let's say they don't want to pay you anything. You don't have any hail damage. Or if you have a commercial policy, maybe a commercial building, anything to do with insurance, if you need help, Matt at Paragon
Services can help you. 719-726-0020. My insurance company told me I had zero damage. Matt got me $70,000, no joke. 719-726-0020 or find Paragon Services on referralist.com.
Whether you're interested in saving money on your mortgage payments or you're considering a cash-out refinance, American Financing is always the lender to call. Hey, it's Ross Kaminsky reminding you that a mortgage refinance is more than just a lower rate. It's also an effective way to eliminate debt or access cash. You can pay off credit card balances, personal loans, even fund home improvements. You know what else? When you choose American Financing, like I did, you don't have to pay upfront or hidden fees. There's no pressure, no obligation, and you don't have to reset your loan term. You can choose any term 10 years and over, so you're not wasting money on years you don't need. What are you waiting for? Get a free mortgage.
dipped all the way up, man.
It won't matter. Not your headphones.
No, I know. 303-867-7000. They're also on my referral list at referralist.com.
Yeah, it's my left. Yeah. And that's what that kills.
Hey, Shannon, this headphone jack where he's at does not, it's only got
Try Wendy's guaranteed hot and crispy fries today at participating U.S.
713 Talk 713-8255. Welcome to the show. Let's talk to Richard. That's a question for Water Pros. Go ahead, Richard. What's going on, man?
Good morning.
Hey.
First of all, I got one of the Wind River spas, and it's wonderful.
I got a Wind River spa.
Yeah?
I was just telling him that.
Yeah, we bought ours. Check this out, Tom. Probably 7-8 years ago, I had to replace the pump, and I think I replaced the ozonator, whatever that is.
Yeah, that's a purification system.
And that's about the only maintenance 7 years. What I really didn't realize, there's not much to replace. The plastic shell is never going to go anywhere. Unless if you physically break a jet, there's not much to break there. It's a great product. I'm happy with it.
Good, good, good. I'm glad you like it, Richard. What else did you want to talk about? You have a question for Paul?
I do, because we live about 150 miles west of Denver, and we're on well water. We live right by the Colorado River, and the spa gets a red ring around it. And I was wondering, it's probably iron, but I had it tested for iron, and it said there wasn't any iron in the water.
Where did it probably is iron, and it's probably being oxidized because of the chlorine content. Iron, and with the chemicals, how hard is your water?
I had it tested. It's medium. It's not terrible.
Okay.
I have a whole house carbon block filter. That's the only filter I do in the house.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't use that on well water because carbon block can be a breeding ground for bacteria. Carbon's one of the most overused filter medias in the market today. And also what it could do is that if you change it and it gets a bunch of gunk and slime, what you're doing also is you're putting your pump at risk because pumps don't like pumping against resistance. So you want to do a sediment filter. The other thing it could be is it also could be natural bacteria that's in the air. It's not harmful. If it's outside, that could be part of the issue. But take a look at the back of the toilet tanks in the house and see what it looks like.
Yeah, they're clean. There's no problem in those.
Okay. Yeah, that's then, it could be a slight amount of iron. It could be the bacteria in the air, but absolutely, with the carbon filter, don't use that in well water, in my personal opinion. Do a sediment filter, 25 micron at best, because, carbon is for, taste and odor and for total chlorine content. It's not designed for well water.
Well, the water does have a little odor or taste. Not that a taste, it's a little odor.
Is it sulfur? Does it smell like? What does it smell like?
A little bit. Just a little bit at the far end of the house on the hot water side.
Yeah, so that could be like a sulfite bacteria, but that could also be created, because of the carbon filter, because it's food. And so, you don't have H2S gas, because if you did, it'd be at all the faucets. So take that aerator off at that sink, that far location on the hot water side, and clean that out and see what it looks like. But that's, because if it's not everywhere, then, it could be low amounts of sulfur that, as it oxidizes, turns to a black, solid, and that could be the other issue for your faucet.
Okay.
So,
there's nothing to do for that red ring on the top tub. We just take a little alcohol and it wipes it right off.
Right. Yeah, it's either, if there's no iron, if your toilets are clear, then the other thing it could be is just it's natural bacteria that's in the air, that can cause that. Same thing with folks that live in town that get that red ring in the dog's water bowl. It just can be airborne bacteria.
Would one of those little sponges for a hot tub that some people have floating around, I've never used one, would that actually absorb the iron so maybe the ring wouldn't go?
Yeah. I mean, you could try that, but I think if the back of the toilet tanks are clean and clear, then, then that means it's the bacteria. Plus, if it's not sticking, if it's something that you can move easy, because iron, once it oxidizes, likes to, and with the hardness, likes to stick.
Well, it's stuck, but I mean, a little elbow grease and it comes right off.
Yeah, and it might be. I'll tell you what you do. Try this. Take that carbon filter out, put a sediment filter in, and see if that doesn't make a difference.
Okay, I'll do that.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Suze, you got an email question for waterpros.net? Is she on the line there? Okay, then I'll just talk to you. We do have people emailing some stuff here. Let me find one. On whole house systems, what maintenance is there for softening?
Just monitoring the water softening salt, which is the detergent.
And how often do you have to add that?
Well, it's going to be based on your hardness, right? And based on,
how much you use, right?
Right.
But normally how much?
Probably, with our systems, probably about 4 bags, every 3 to 6 months based upon...
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's water softening salt is dissolved. It's converted to a saline, and
it's not in the water. It's used as a detergent.
As a detergent, it's not put in the water at all. It's something.
It cleans the filter.
It cleans the resin, the filter media.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's like saline. It's no different when you go to the doctor and to get a cut. They take saline to rinse the wound out. Saline is the detergent for the water.
But it doesn't get mixed. See, a lot of people, I think, have that misimpression that it's mixed with the water.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Okay, what do you do for $29? You have a where you'll go check other people's systems. Why is that?
Well, because there are a lot of companies. For example, there's systems out there that we go out and we'll check and need reprogramming, and so we'll go out and look at an existing unit, check the programming, make sure that the settings are proper.
Okay, and what do you normally find?
You find that the programming, a lot of companies, don't set the salt settings right, don't set the hardness right, so you've got a system that's basically not functioning because it's not programmed right. And so, once we correct it, then it functions and is efficient as it should be.
Okay, so what about regular systems? How often do they have to be maintained? Like with somebody coming out there, people don't want to have people in their house all the time. So if you put a softening system in, I know my filtration system never needs anything. Do I have to change anything on that, by the way?
Yeah, I think once a year because you don't have a softener.
My purification at the sink in the kitchen. Yep. We never buy bottled water anymore.
No.
We just fill up glasses, we fill up bottles, we fill up, water bottles. So that is once a year put a filter on that.
Right. So once a year we'll come out and change the filter. We'll do a TDS test to make sure the membrane's working properly. And then, we just change the pre and post filter and you're good to go. Water softeners should be maintenance free. If they're programmed properly and as long as folks remember to put the water softening salt in, we shouldn't have to come out for regular maintenance on it, on a properly programmed installed system.
Okay. What about aquariums? Can you hurt fish with softening or anything like that, or purification?
A lot of folks, aquariums and saltwater tanks use reverse osmosis water.
So that would be water that we take out of
your
point of use.
Right, and so a lot of folks you'd have an RO that's built for a larger scale that could filter 75 gallons of water or 100 gallons of water at a time. That's a bigger kind of a system, but a lot of folks use those for aquariums.
Okay, so as far as water tests, they're free, but let me ask you something, Paul. A lot of people just use that as a sales tool. So talk about water testing. If people want a water test, what do you do?
Well, so we don't do the dog and pony presentation. We do the water test so the customer can understand what's going on with the water and why we're making the recommendation. And then we do the total chlorine test for folks that live in town so then they can understand that, your chlorine levels are high and we recommend, a filter after the water softener because, like we mentioned before, you can have soft water, but high chlorine content can cause skin irritation and issues, and also, the bad taste would still be there.
What's the worst thing you've ever seen, like in a home, in the water?
In the water, we've seen homes where high sodium content and TDS that's over, 2,500.
What's TDS?
Total dissolved solids.
What is that?
So the EPA states that that's...
Whoa. Are you talking like...
What is total
feces?
No.
Okay.
So total dissolved solids are everything that's invisible, dissolved in like a nanofiltration level in your water that you measure. If it's over 500, the EPA recommends, drinking water reverse osmosis. So if you were to get a government loan and they did a water quality test, not all brokers, request it, but if it comes over 500, then they won't underwrite the mortgage unless the water's treated. So TDS is dissolved solids, can be salt, can be sulfates, can be a combination of things. So once you have a high TDS, then you have to do additional testing to, kind of figure out exactly what is involved. But at that point, absolutely, you're going to need reverse osmosis filtration.
So, testing.
We have hard water. We have customers that, so on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being soft, 10 is really hard water, we have customers that have hardness in the 40, 50, 60 grams per gallon. Yeah, it's instant calcification. It's insane. Modern day appliances were
10 is considered hard, and you have people with 40.
40, yeah. We have especially.
Did you do my test?
Yeah, your water test, if I remember, I think you came in about 7.
Okay, not terrible.
Not terrible, but mid range, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, as far as when you give a test, in addition to hardness, what do you test for?
Well, we test for the total chlorine content, and if you're in well water, we do the iron and the TDS. This basically tells us what is wrong with the water so we can make the right recommendation and not a cookie-cutter solution or one-size-fits-all. And we don't do what I call the unethical test. It's a precipitation test where they have clear liquid and then they add drops into it and it turns all cloudy and they scare people thinking, oh, we got all these contaminants. I think that's just a unethical test to do. I think the hardness, the total chlorine content, the total dissolved solid test, and the iron test gives us an indication how to properly treat the water.
Okay, 303-713-8255. If you have any problems, questions, or complaints, you can get right through on any topic.
KHOW Denver, 630 KL, an iHeartRadio station. Available everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts. All in one. Now, impact traffic from the DuckDuckGo Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Red Field America. It's a pretty serious situation with a car fire in the tech center. I-25 northbound at Bellevue, the off-ramp, it is closed. You can take Orchard or northbound I-225.
Right here at Bellevue.
Well, hopefully by the time we go home, we'll be cleared up.
Collision still clearing on East Mississippi,
I never go that way.
South Peoria. And the
I go straight up.
Is out this afternoon. This is Camden in both directions between
Monaco to Happy Camden.
Denver weather, some clouds, high of 57, a low of 35. Right
Where are
now,
you?
it's sunny.
I'm by Alameda and Quebec.
With your impact traffic and weather, Karen.
So I take basically Yosemite all the way to Alameda and then just make a left turn.
Listen to Red Pill America on the iHeartRadio app. That's Red Pill America.
So just this past week, I had Rocky Mountain IV Medics come to the studio. They're giving me IV. I do it monthly. It's called hydration therapy. I don't go to a hydration bar ever anymore because for the same price, they'll come to my home. Think about that. They'll come to your home. All you have to do is give them a call or text them, and they have same-hour appointments. Rocky Mountain IV Medics for dehydration, vitamin deficiencies, migraines, hangovers. If you're sick with the flu, COVID, or anything and want to get over the hump, it helps. RockyMountainIVMedics.com. Remember, you can text for same-hour appointments, 720-987-2155, 720-987-2155. Auto repair is something that is like a relationship. It really is. You don't want to just get something done by someone you don't know. You want someone you know, and you also want someone who's honest, okay? But they have to have experience and knowledge and convenience and value, too. Sheridan Auto Tech has all of these. SheridanAutoTech.com. In Lakewood, on Colfax, and in Aurora, on Havana. Find out more at SheridanAutoTech.com, 303-455-7242.
And Mark,
what about 888?
Well, I can't say much Besides this, the best pricing, the best service. Check this out, Tom. Right now, $2,000 off a new furnace. And then if you donate a coat to a homeless person, you will get an additional $100 off up to 5 coats, meaning $2,500 off a new system. 888heating.com is their phone number, and 888heating.com, of course, is their website.
So many people have told.
Hey, whatever happened to that lady that needed a coat? Were we going to, did you guys set her up, or were we going to meet her, or what?
She got a coat. We drop shipped her a coat from Amazon.
I was going to meet her at Goodwill or Burlington and help her out. But she was taken care of? Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's very nice.
He got more cash at close. She got it. But Ruby's story isn't unique. 99 out of 100 Orchard customers sell on market for more than their.
But she is single, Doc.
So is Paul. You married, Paul?
I'm married.
Too bad. Now they can always pick on me.
If you're thinking about selling or just curious what Orchard would pay for your home, get a no cost, no obligation offer at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com. You know, people often ask me for a roofing recommendation, and I say, Excel Roofing. 36,000 satisfied customers. I'm one of them. In business 27 years with the same owner, Jay Rez. And what I like most is you don't pay a cent until you're content. And there's no cancellation fees, no high-pressure sales, just honest, free, complete estimates so you know exactly what you need when you approach your insurance company. You know, in roofing, there are so many companies that come and go. Companies that even buy out the names of old companies. Well, you have my word. Excel Roofing is the same company it was in the beginning and just gets better. They also do roof repairs. If you have old damage or new, call them for your free estimate. 303-7.
Yeah, I was up late, man, watching that deal.
Hey, Mark, were you the one who told me about that Netflix series called Made?
Yeah, he told them both of us.
You like it?
I only watched the first few. They're
I thought it was pretty
depressing.
interesting.
I love it.
Depressing.
Fuck yeah, it's depressing. You didn't watch the end?
No, I haven't watched the first episode.
Oh my God.
Or I might be on the second.
It's
I
pretty
will.
good,
I will.
Did you
Wait.
get through it, Doc?
Yeah.
Does it continue to be depressing then?
$600 a year in rebate.
I don't want to say.
Yeah,
It's dramatic. Let's put it that way.
I thought the ending was good.
Yeah, it's just not a comedy, that's all.
It's a dark comedy. No, actually, you're right. There's not much funny about that show.
No,
It's kind of funny how, if you really look at how it's written, she fucks herself every time. It's not outside shit. She decides to have those people over to that one house. She decides everything.
That's why it's a drama, it's not a comedy.
She's a comedy of errors.
Hey, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show, Joe. What do you know? What's happening, Joe?
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Good, man. What's going on?
Well, I have a neighbor who has a large tree in the front yard, and I've been there about 3 years. All his leaves fall in my yard. Is there anything I can do about that?
You know what? We had this call. We had this call the other day where one guy demanded that the neighbor pick up all his leaves. Joe, I can tell you this. From experience, not necessarily quoting lawsuits or anything, we don't know of any common law. There could be common law, meaning decisions from previous courts. We don't know of any. We do know this, that in most cases that we've handled over the years, if the tree falls, it falls wherever it is. In other words, the leaves. If they fall in your yard, they're your problem. If they fall in his yard, they're his problem. Now, if the tree substantially hangs hangs over the fence onto your yard, that's a different issue, not for the leaves, but for the tree itself. You can take steps to have him trim back the tree, not you doing it, but have it trimmed back to where it doesn't encroach on your property, or you can have it trimmed back if you do it professionally and don't kill it. But as far as the leaves go, it's unreasonable to say, this is your tree, come over and rake your leaves, because those leaves could be in 3 or 4 or 5 yards.
If the tree fell in the woods,
would you hear it?
Wasn't there.
Joe, how bad is it? Does it hang over, way over?
Yeah, absolutely. Literally half the tree hangs over into my yard. So, majority of the leaves come into my yard.
Oh, that's terrible.
Have
you ever talked to him about?
What's that?
Have you ever talked to him about trimming back the tree a bit?
Well, the house used to be rented. It was just sold within the last probably 4 to 5 months, and this person finally bought it. So I was going to go knock on the door and talk to the gentleman, but I want to get your take.
Okay, you know what? Hey, there's nothing wrong with talking to him, saying, hey, would you mind helping out with the leaves from your tree, since most of it hangs over my fence? And then that would prevent me from having to get it trimmed back. I mean, you might want to just talk to him and see what happens, but I don't know if you can make him do it. This has been an age-old problem, and the cities won't get involved in that argument. But trees hanging over, encroaching on fences, power lines, your recreation equipment, or whatever you have in your yard, or your outdoor kitchen, it can affect you, and you are allowed to trim that back or talk to him about trimming it back. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Now, as far as water, we have Paul the Waterman here. And it really is an important topic. Do you have an email question or not, Suze? You said you
do.
What is it?
It says, I've been hesitant to install a kitchen reverse osmosis system because I read that they use 4 gallons of water for every gallon of reverse osmosis water produced.
How does that happen?
Is that true?
Every drop I throw in there comes out. I don't know what they're talking about, Paul.
Technically, if you're in really bad water, meaning high TDS, high hardness, and untreated or high total dissolved solids, it will, go to maybe a 3-to-1 ratio on really bad problem water.
Why? What happens?
Well, think about this. The RO membrane is nanofiltration, so the high TDS basically slows that process down, slows the flow rate down. So the filter has to grab the high TDS.
Yes.
Okay, so in your situation...
But if it slows it down, it doesn't necessarily use more.
Well, it will use more because it takes a longer time to filter, and so if the slower the water flow rate, the more water you use to produce it. In certain situations, like with you, with only your mildly hard water, you're at best probably, 1.5 to 2 gallons to 1 gallon of drinking water. It's never...
Where does the other water go?
It goes down the drain. It goes down, there's a drain, and so we...
I didn't know.
Yeah. Water filtration, it's never a 1-to-1 ratio because it's not 100% H2O.
Okay, I get it.
So there's just no way, right? So the other chemical contaminants is being filtered, that goes down the sink, and then the water is light, water passes right through.
All right, 303-713-TALK. What is this comment, Larry, on the hot tub? What was this hot tub call? He loved his hot tub, he said.
Well, it wasn't. He mentioned he had a sulfur smell.
Oh, he had no. He said he had a red ring.
He had a sulfur smell as well.
Oh, he did.
Yes. Now the sulfur smell can be gotten rid of by changing out your anode rod from zinc to aluminum.
Huh. But isn't that only that's for hot water though, out of your water tank?
That's where he said he had that.
Yeah, but he doesn't fill his tub with the hot water tank.
The sulfur smell was not from the hot tub. It was from the hot water.
It was in one sink. So if it's not uniform, if it's not in the whole house, but it's just in one sink, then that could be, sulfite bacteria. It could be sulfur that's liquefied, that oxidizes, and it's just plugged up in an aerator, and it just happened to be that sink.
So, Larry, are you saying there are different materials for sacrificial anodes in a water heater?
Yeah, the standard is zinc, but I know several people out in the country that have terrible sulfur smell on their hot water, and they just change out their anode to an aluminum rod instead of zinc, and that fixes the problem.
How long would an aluminum rod last as opposed to the zinc?
I have no idea. The last one I was familiar with changed out about 4 years ago, and they still have no problem.
Okay, well, thank you. Appreciate that. That's good information. And for your information, a nanorod is a rod that goes into the water tank. It comes from the manufacturer that way, and the water eats away at that. The electrolytic action eats away at that instead of the tank. So they call it sacrificial because it sacrifices itself for the tank. And if you keep those rods replaced, you'll get very little or no corrosion on the tank itself. Teresa, you have a question or an issue with a fence and a neighbor too. What's not two, but with a neighbor. What's going on?
Hi. So I purchased a house last October. Prior to moving in, I saw the neighbor while I was looking at the house because it was a new build. I told the neighbor that they said that they wanted to get a fence built. I said, yeah, absolutely, we want to get a fence put up too. Said, I'd like to get a couple quotes from people, and then we can discuss who to go with. The neighbor then decided to, 9 days after we moved into our house, they decided to put up a DIY fence.
So wait, you're the one that moved in, or they're the ones that moved in?
It was a new build area, so we both are new to the area. Their house was done before ours.
All right, so hold on. Let's figure out where this is going. I got to take this break. Mark, all of them? Do you see them there? I got to go to the restroom real quick.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's. Traffic is better on getting through the tech center from that earlier car fire. Now the off-ramp I-25 northbound of Bellevue is just partially blocked. Traffic, though, it's going to be slow from Orchard. There is a structure fire that's gathering attention on Lincoln, north and southbound approaching East Ellsworth Avenue. Traffic's backed up leaving from I-25. And there is a collision on Wadsworth right at Hamden. Denver weather, warmer but some clouds, a high up toward 57 today. The low tonight getting down toward 35. It's sunny and 53. With your impact traffic and weather, Aaron Johnson, 630 KHOW.
Right now at Wendy's, everyone is raving about their brand new fries. Natural cut, skin on with a hint of sea salt and guaranteed to be hot and crispy or they'll replace them. You know, the way fries should be. Try Wendy's guaranteed hot and crispy fries today at participating U.S. Wendy's.
You know, if you're looking at purchasing a second house or maybe a third house for rental, vacation, you have to call Kurt Rogers at Affordable Interest Mortgage. The liquid loan, we talk about it all the time. This is the loan where you get a first line of credit on your house along with the loan, up to 80% on a secondary house or a rental, and up to 90% on your primary. It's a line of credit that'll be there for 30 years. On top of that, the interest rate is unbelievable, and my favorite part is the loan is based off of simple interest. He's going to show you the difference between what we would call a traditional mortgage and what the liquid loan can do for you and how much money you'll save. That simple interest alone saves you a ton. It's not compounded interest. Call Kurt Rogers. He can do the refi, too, if you're in a regular mortgage right now. It doesn't have to be a new purchase. You have to check out this product and the savings. Affordable Interest Mortgage, 720-895-0500. Give them a call right now. You can even do a webinar. You can go visit them in person, whatever you want to do, but I'm promising you it's worth looking into. The liquid loan, 720-895-0500. Now let's talk about the art of granite. I love Mitch Floria. He's been to our house 3 different times. He did our laundry room, our upstairs bathroom, and a piece of our kitchen. If you want the best looking cabinets, the best hard surface countertops out there, and you want them in less than 2 weeks, you need to call Mitch Floria and the Art of Granite. The easiest way is go to theartofgranite.com. That is the, as in T-H-E, artofgranite.com. Now, Master Rooter Plumbing, here's a company that's unbelievable. They'll send a licensed, insured plumber to your house, no trip charge, no diagnostic fee,
for a free estimate. You can't get any better than that. And if you ever need a sewer line replacement or another company says you do, call up Master Rooter. They'll give you a free second opinion, including a scope with the camera, and they'll show you the video right there. Hopefully you don't need a new one because there's a lot of scams out there, but if you do, Master Rooter Plumbing owns their own excavation company, and they're simply the best pricing, the best service. 720-434-3406, or you can find Master Rooter Plumbing on our referral list at referrallist.com.
Once you got the volume on your headphones set, how often do you change it, Mark?
Never, unless over the weekend someone fucks with it. That's the problem. There's so many people in there. But on that one, it shouldn't be too often.
Babe, sorry to leave. Lady wants to know, you guys used to talk about where you can go and buy your own flooring. Would that be buy and build? Because I don't see flooring on their website.
Yeah, they do flooring. I mean, their inventory changes all the time, but they do flooring.
Okay, so that's where you would buy your
They'll
own.
have like LVT, sometimes hardwood.
If you guess, that's what you do. And in order to do that, I can help you, or Mark can help you to do that. Okay. I'll take care of you.
Not to make you feel uncomfortable, Tom, but I really like you.
Hey, man, I want to help you. That's
It's kind of
what-
funny they just got back from the bathroom.
I know.
Yeah.
Tom, did you pull out your finger?
Yeah. Did he get?
You know, like you guys.
Did you get an up close?
You guys are a bunch.
As I've been back in third grade.
All right, fifth grade.
Yeah, maybe fifth, man. They're somewhere between 3 and 5.
You would be the one that would go out there and that double dare to flick your tongue on the frozen.
Yeah,
microphone.
right.
I think I would do that. No, that would be him. Okay, it would be me that would say, "Pull it up."
I had a neighbor named Archie back in the day. He was the biggest drunk you ever met, man. He was over at my house, drunk as shit. I got him to put on my Doberman, male Doberman, biggest shock collar you can fucking buy.
Oh my God.
He put that son of a bitch on, and I wouldn't let him take it off for over an hour. Every time he touched it, I'd correct him. He fucking trained just like a dog. By the time we were done, he wouldn't touch it anymore. Everything was cool. But he still drank like a fish. That's what I should have done. Every time he took a drink, you give him a zap.
You know, you might have said.
You know, I've known people. I had relatives that drank over a case of beer a day.
Holy shit!
And lived to be 83 years old.
Oh my God.
He was a string bean, right? You know, didn't want to eat. Case of beer a day, 83.
I knew a guy like that. I don't know. I think he's dead, but he drank a lot of beer, man, and he was a string bean.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show. Let's go to the phones and this fence issue. You know, we get a lot of people with fence issues. Teresa, new neighbor, or you're both new, your neighbor discussed a fence with you. Now, how did they discuss the fence? They said, hey, would you mind if we put up a fence, or what did they say?
So when we were going out to look at our house as it was being built, the neighbor had approached me and said that they wanted to put up a fence. I said, yes, you know, we also want to have a fence put up. I told them that, you know, the last house that we bought that was also a new build, we got 3 quotes, and then we discussed it with our neighbors, and then we went from there.
Did they ask you to chip in half?
At that point, we didn't discuss it.
Okay, so when they did the fence, what did they put up?
So then 9 days after we move in, we wake up to them putting in a fence, and they put up this split rail fence, which is what our association says that we have to have. They didn't use a mason line, so the fence is not straight. It, as my sister says, she's like, it's like a little dancing line. And then they put the mesh wire on our side of the fence, and they didn't stretch it. So again, it's all
it looks like crap.
Warped, and it looks like crap on our side.
Did they do a setback as required? Did the subdivision or the county or the city, do they require a setback, or is it on the property line?
It's on the property line.
But they're paying for this fence.
So they paid for it, and then they sent us a bill asking for us to pay for half of it.
Well, you said, I would say I didn't approve it, and besides, it's not done properly.
Yeah, and so I told them that, there are some issues with the fence and that we needed to discuss that. And I said, I would be that they could either fix it or we could hire somebody to come out and fix it. I've contacted 2 fencing companies.
Okay, and if you hire somebody to fix it, do fencing companies feel like it can be fixed without tearing it?
No. So one of the first fencing company said, absolutely not, we won't touch it. The second company said, well, we can do it, but we're not going to guarantee any work, and it's going to be at least $1,000.
How much did it cost? How much are they billing you?
They want us to pay $1,027, and I asked them for receipts, and they haven't sent me all the receipts either.
Well, that I would want. I would want to see the receipts, and I'd also want to see I want to see the fence, how bad it is. So you're saying it's that bad? I mean, it's bad.
It's like you look at it, and it when you look, it's not a straight line. I mean, it wobbles every.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Post is not.
Did they do it
straight.
themselves?
And then there's one that is off the property, more into our line. It's clearly crooked and not.
Well, do they acknowledge that?
When I told them that that the fence needed that they could either fix it or that it needed to be we'd contact the fencing company to repair it. They said that they were like, well, fix it yourself. We put plenty of time into the fence.
Jeez.
And when we initially, when we saw them putting it up, we went over there and we're like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, oh, well, we're putting up the fence. And we just figured we would split the bill with you. And at that point, I was like, well, I need to talk to my husband. And I said, we could help you with putting up the fence. And they're like, no, we know what we're doing.
All right, hold on. I have some ideas on this if you want to hang out. We've had this happen before, and I'll go into my records. Ah, man, this sucks. We'll talk about it. Also, Sharon, we need to talk about this HOA and a flooding issue, so please stick around. I'm Tom Martino.
If it's on their land and they paid for it, there's nothing she can do if it conforms to HOA standards. Is that correct, Tom?
Yeah, but she doesn't have to pay for it.
Right. She can tell them to pound salt, but as long as it's HOA approved, it's on their land, there's nothing she can do except not pay for it.
That'd be crazy, man. That's a good way to start a fucking war. Know what I mean?
Well, it sounds like they don't care about a war because they did it without conferring with her.
I've had a few wars in my day with neighbors.
And let me guess who won.
With neighbors, no one ever wins, man. But yes, I won. But, as one as good as you can win.
It's always a very
I don't know why I'm pissing so much, but I am. Okay. Oh, that's because today's a fast day. That's right.
Lots of water.
Yeah. Fast day. After going back to food, it's hard to do this again.
That's too bad we got a couple pizzas coming.
Oh, I see.
Just nothing but meat, though. Meat and cheese. I said no crust, just bring meat and cheese. On the box, in the box. You open the box up and it's just meat
and cheese.
Voters deliver a big hit to Biden agenda. Story at 11.
After the CDC signed off yesterday.
They were doing the whole puppy thing at 1 o'clock on Friday.
Cool. That'll be cute.
It'd be so adorable. I hope iHeart doesn't care that we're letting puppies and people in.
Yeah, they won't care. We're going to put that puppy on Michael Brown's seat. Just saying.
Of course, the puppy's going to get here, and none of us are going to want it to go.
I have a puppy you can have.
Oh, I've got one you can have. She's a nightmare.
He's a menace to society. I love him to death, but just a menace.
How old?
Oh gosh, probably about 10 months.
Okay, ours is a year.
Oh.
It's a mini Aussie. She's the cutest thing ever, and she is an embarrassing nightmare.
This guy, I have 2 huskies who talk, right? So now he can't howl like a husky, so he whines.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's trying to talk by that way.
Is it a beagle?
No, it's a, hang on, I'll show you.
Well, I get it. I almost left out my wallet.
I rescued him at a shelter.
What's his name?
Bailey.
Oh.
He's a Bailey dog.
Our shepherd whines at the cats. He's this badass German shepherd that won't eat ever. He just could care less about food and then whines at the cats. But the little Aussie, she's so sweet and adorable, but she's a freaking chewer.
That's what Bailey is. Chew, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you leave outside, gone, destroyed.
Oh yeah, we're talking freaking brand new furniture. Now we're afraid to replace because afraid she's going to chew again, so we're trying to make sure she's out of that stage.
He attacks my apple trees outside.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love him to death, but he's a menace to society.
Oh, that's funny. I call her my little $2,500 nightmare.
Well, with my wife lost her cat, so we went to Fort Morgan to a shelter, and she adopted 2 twins. And while we're doing the whole adoption process, right, there's Bailey sitting right there.
You mean twin cats?
Twin cats.
Literally? Wow.
Yeah, they came from Illinois. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, the guy proved to me that he was living the foster dad. He was already potty trained. That's like half the, because that's
half the battle, right?
So here's my problem. Today's a fast day. Guess what? It's a kid night.
Oh my goodness, you're gonna be messed up.
When I tell Miles I'm fasting, he sends me a picture of a glorious burger.
No, I got them for dinner tonight.
Yeah, so
you fast 60. I do 16 hours
take
a
me
day.
to some place where you hate the food.
No, this is 2 days.
That's a good idea.
2 days worth of fast. Tootsie Roll. Really?
Yeah, but I have little wafers that are for vitamins, and I have water, and I have some coffee, but I don't have food. Not for those 2 days. The other days I have shakes and food.
I cooked for my family while fasting.
Oh yeah. Man,
do me a favor though. If you do the 16 hours of fasting, make sure you have good vitamins and minerals. Because otherwise, your body
16 hours
won't get the benefits. Why?
How do you even call that fasting?
Those services.
Is that what he just
I
said?
do that every day.
Yeah. A lot of people do that every day. That's right. That's not a bad thing to do.
I did it a year and a half, if you recall. I ate once a day.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
But I never called it really fasting.
No, they call it that. They call that intermittent fasting.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's one way of doing it, Mark. It's very healthy. You still do that. It's healthy if you supplement yourself. If your body's starving, I don't mean for calories, for nutrients, it starts eating muscle and fat. And you don't want to end up flabbier. You want to burn lean. To burn lean, to burn fat, you want to give nourishment to your body.
Just best diet ever. Tootsie Rolls. Not a fucking other thing. Can't eat anything else. You'll get so sick of Tootsie Rolls, you'll lose fucking 200 pounds.
Well, Penn Gillette,
Penn Teller.
he lost 100 pounds eating potatoes.
Yeah, because that's all he ate.
Any change in the diet will help you lose if you cut down. That doesn't mean he was fucking healthy. In fact, his A1C must be through the roof. And he did that on purpose, right? Did he do that on purpose?
He said, I'm going to eat one food and one food only.
Yeah, any one food diet,
which is
so unhealthy.
I want to drop 100 pounds.
And I'll bet you he also did not do, I bet you he didn't have more lean. He has more fat than lean, even though he lost weight. Do it properly, bro. Let me help you on that. I'm serious. Do you think you could do shakes and intermittent fasting? Do you think so?
Yeah, I think
if you do, man, you'll love it.
Listen, let me tell you, I can go 23 hours, because if you set it right and you get busy and you you don't eat, you drink, water like you
Also,
said.
if you have these wafers and different things, that it gives you nourishment. It's really not as hard as.
Suzanne and I will go. We didn't do it this week, but the last 3 weeks, we don't eat from 4 p.m. Sunday till about 6 p.m. Tuesday.
But you're doing vitamins, right?
No. Oh, or whatever we usually take. Nothing added like the diet. Just my general shit. Yeah. I take the same thing. I take 6 fiber pills in the morning. 6 fiber pills. I take a vitamin C plus. It's basically a multivitamin.
What about that
A
super
zinc.
beet supplement? Have you guys heard about that? That super beet that
I've heard of the brand.
Yeah, you mix with water.
It's like, remember the juices you used to have? It's like that, but it's a powder and you mix it. It's very expensive.
Yeah, just drink B8.
But you don't need
It's high in sodium, though.
Well, not only that, B8's a ton of sugar, man.
Yeah.
B8's nothing but sugar. I never liked B8. I'll tell you what, I don't crave anymore, but it was really hard starting just, a true diet, not no carbs, but just low carb. I don't drink orange juice for years.
I've had carbs in so long, my God. Hey, Tom.
Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. This hour brought to you by One Clear Choice Garage Doors. I love One Clear Choice. They do such a good job with garage doors. They'll come out there 24/7 for emergencies, or, of course, they'll help you with any issue you have, whether it be a spring or an issue that you just one issue, or they'll inspect the entire door for $80 inside and out with adjustments on safety, or new doors themselves, new openers, new hinges. All of their prices are on their website, OneClearChoiceDoors.com. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. 720-370-3987. 720-370-3987. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. Teresa said she had a fence, or she wanted a fence, and they talked to the neighbors, but they never really gave their go-ahead. They never had an agreement. It was just a discussion. All of a sudden, the neighbor puts up the fence and bills her for half, around $1,000. And Teresa says, if it was a perfect fence, I wouldn't mind. But it meanders, and it looks terrible.
They should try to correct it, but, man, I'll tell you, if I put it up and she verbally said, yeah, we'll pay for it, I'd have a problem.
She didn't say verbally, yes, they'll pay for it.
Oh, I thought they did agree.
No.
Teresa, you've never said go ahead. Well, tell me how that discussion went originally.
No, so the first discussion I had with her in regards to fence was prior to us buying the house.
Prior to buying the house, Mark, listen.
Prior to buying the house. And I said that I would like to get 3 quotes and that we could discuss which person that we wanted to go with.
And they took that to mean she was going to pay her half.
Got it. So if they did fix it, would you pay for it?
Yes.
Okay.
She'd pay for half.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I had a neighbor way back in the day wouldn't pay his half of the fence, so I just made his life miserable for a long time.
Well, Teresa, here's the thing. There are a couple things you can do. First and foremost, you don't have to pay for half of that with the absence of an agreement. Okay? I mean, how is he going to enforce that?
I figured they'd probably take me to civil court.
It's small claims court. And then you're going to say, I never agreed to it, period.
Yeah, nor did I want it.
Nor did I want it this way. In fact, if they said you did agree to it, you did it before, they're claiming you did it before you even owned the property, and you didn't have authority to do it. So,
yeah.
I like her stance, though. If you get it fixed and it's straight, I'll pay half.
Yeah. In fact, it would be good if they did take you to court, because it would be small claims court, and it would be a good time to air your grievance. What you don't want is for them to put a lien on your house, which they can do without any proof whatsoever of an agreement. Then you have to go to get that removed. Do you think they would do that?
I don't know. I mean, we've already been having issues with them so our backyard wasn't landscaped when we first moved into the house. We moved in October, so we didn't have to landscape it until the next spring. We hired a company. The company said that they were going to come out in June. They didn't come out until, well, it's still not done. They're working on it now. Some of our dirt had eroded, but it was into our other neighbor's backyard, and when they brought it to our attention.
So your problems go on and on with them, right?
Yeah, so when they brought it to our attention, not this neighbor, it was a different neighbor, we said, you know, we'll do what we can to mitigate it. We went out, we bought landscaping cloth, we took some of the rock from our front yard and put it lining that fence, and also told that neighbor that we would help clean the dirt that's in their yard. This neighbor with the fence issue then came over into our yard and took the rock that we had put down and put it into their yard. And when I confronted them about it, they're like, oh, well, we thought that was our rock going into your yard.
Let me tell you, it sounds like you're going to have nothing but trouble. I would put things in writing to be clear. And I would say, you know, with the absence of an agreement, I am reluctant to pay for the fence. However, I will pay half of the existing bill if it's corrected. I had experts look at the fence. I would tell them I had experts look at the fence, and they say it's jacked, it's wrong.
I wouldn't even bring the agreement part up. I'd just say if you fix it, if you're willing to fix,
but I don't want them using that. I don't want them using that as an agreement for her to pay, because if they go to court and say, see, Your Honor, she does say she owes half, but
I just hate to see her in a neighbor war because this already sounds bad.
But I would definitely not. I would definitely say, listen, I never agreed to pay for this to begin with, but I will, so long as it is corrected.
Make sure she puts in a clause to my satisfaction.
Well, I don't know.
Because if she gets another company to say it's okay, but she's not happy, she's stuck with the contract.
Well, I'm not going to. Listen, I'm not trying to tell you how to write a contract, Teresa. Just let them know you'll pay if they correct it, okay? Leave the correction up to, get a professional to look at it, and you should have somebody write you a letter as to what's wrong with it and what needs to be fixed. Did you get that from the previous professional?
So the first guy that came out, he said that he wouldn't touch it, and he wrote down reasons for
good. Then you got it.
Reasons for why he wouldn't try to correct the mesh or anything on it.
Okay, good. You got it. You got it then. I think you have enough.
Remember the guy we had call up, his neighbor? He was trying to sell his house, and his neighbor would hang that banner outside the window across the street that said, I party 24/7.
And I'm loud.
And we've got dogs.
Yep. Sharon, he was a real jerk. His name was Terranova, remember that? His last name. Sharon, what's going on with you?
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
We had a roof leak in our condo last October.
In your particular unit or in the building, Sharon?
It went into my unit.
Okay.
And so I reported it last October, and they fixed the roof in June.
The HOA did?
Yeah. The roof. They fixed in June or July, and we had my insurance company.
Okay, hold on. So the leak, when was the leak as compared to the fix? After the fix?
No, the leak was, it leaked. It's a 100-year-old building, so it's leaked before, but I told them about it in October.
Okay, got it. And then the next year, then the following year, they fixed it.
The roof they fixed because, they tried a couple times just to patch it. So it leaked again in December and in January, and in April it leaked really bad. And that's when they finally said, we're going to fix the roof the right way.
So then what? Now what's going on?
And then they said that they would fix my ceiling that was all flaking off.
I doubt they will, because you're going to find that in the HOA, they don't fix that. It doesn't matter whose fault it is, and you have condo insurance that fixes it.
Right. So, okay, here's how it worked out. The HOA manager looked at the papers, the documents, and she said they were responsible for the drywall, and I was responsible for paint and texture.
Actually, she interpreted that wrong, but some people do interpret it that way, actually, from the drywall in. That depends on how you look at that. So what happened?
She made the suggestion that they change the documents to say from the studs in.
Good. That would be good. No.
Yeah,
by the way, this isn't the first time. This isn't the first time that's been misunderstood. So go ahead. What's going on, or what happened?
So the other part that was misunderstood was the flooring. So I had some cupping.
Flooring is not covered. I can tell you. I can tell you from the hundreds and hundreds of condo problems we've handled over the years. Flooring and from the drywall in and from the ceiling down, it's all your responsibility.
Even if it was their negligence for the roof?
Yes, because it's her insurance company that will go after them. But she's insured for it.
They'll just subrogate.
Yeah.
Okay, so my insurance company agreed. My insurance company said they would pay for texture and paint and floor covering.
Sure, and then go after them, yeah.
But the HOA signed a contract with a remediation company, and they tore out my flooring, and they fixed my ceilings in some way I did not like. But it's fixed. But they ripped out my 100-year-old flooring, and I asked them,
What is 100-year-old flooring? What is it?
The original flooring, the building was...
Well, what is it? What kind of flooring?
It's wood flooring. Wood flooring, and it has
hardwood?
a nice border.
Are you talking about hardwood?
Hardwood flooring, and it had a beautiful border around the outside.
And what did they put in its place?
They put hardwood flooring in, but it doesn't have the beautiful border around the outside of it anymore. Yeah. And then they couldn't get the radiator to fit anymore because the new flooring is thicker. So they cut the feet down on my radiator. And then they stuck a tin slab under it and said that if I don't like the tin slab, I can move it myself.
Well, they had to put that down by code. So now where do we stand?
Code, I was asking them to send me the code, and they won't talk to me because I'm not the customer.
Where do we stand right now? Like your insurance company agreed, but they did it. So now what?
Well, my insurance company agreed, but I didn't sign any contract with anybody. I didn't get to pick out any kind of flooring. And
well, hold on. They arbitrarily picked your flooring?
The remediation company did, yeah.
Arbitrarily, just picked a color out of the book?
Right.
It doesn't even match the original flooring at all?
He said he got it as close as he could.
Well, okay, then that's different, isn't it? Then he didn't pick it at random. He tried to match it.
Well, that's what he says. But
okay.
It doesn't, I mean, it's the border thing is what I'm really upset about, is that they tore out the flooring that had this gorgeous border around the edge. And even the second estimate, so I kept asking them for the estimate because they said they signed the contract, and I asked them at least 4 times before they started the project.
You know, it's pretty nice, actually, your HOA did this, but what do you want them to do now?
I want them to maybe fix the flooring the way it looked before they tore out the old flooring. I mean, I know I can't get my old flooring
with 100-year-old flooring, you're not going to have that. That's not going to happen.
They won't put the border back in?
I don't think they have to. It depends on how. Really, this is crazy because you don't have any agreement with them. I mean, you can demand that. You could. Your own insurance company wouldn't have done it. They're not going to. What they do is they do it by today's standards. I don't know how that border was done or inlaid. If it wasn't that much, it's not a big deal. I don't know how your floor was done 100 years ago, but you can't expect them to match 100-year-old stuff, is what I'm saying, unless it's easy to do. I mean, if it's within their means or the technology, I guess it wouldn't be a big deal to duplicate it. But does the floor look terrible?
It doesn't look terrible, but I only asked them to sand it and refinish it.
Oh, really? Why did they go ahead? Are you saying, well, listen, technically, if they tore out your floor and did all this without your permission, then you do have an issue. Whether they did it good or bad, I mean, they can show no document where you agreed to this.
I sent them an email and I said, go ahead and do the floor.
Never mind. Then you agreed to it. Then you agreed. Then it's not against it, man. Listen, Sharon, it's not against your will. They did it. You said go ahead and do it, and they did it. Okay.
But I meant go ahead and sand it, Tom. I didn't say to tear out the floors. Everybody who puts these on the market, like the second sentence in their advertisement to post these things for sale is original flooring, original hardwood flooring. It's like I can't say that anymore. You know, and I've owned it for 10 years, and I've taken care of it.
Yeah.
And they just tore it out.
Yeah.
And I came over while they were under construction.
So what do you want? You want them to tear out the floor and redo it?
I think so.
With what?
And I want, you know, and the funny part is that...
What would you ask for, though?
I want the border back in it.
Could you have pictures of before and after?
But how would they possibly find that same border? Is that all you want now is just trim added to the job? Because I don't find that horrible.
No, it's not trim. There's like 10 planks of wood that were bordering the floor, and then the rest of the floor and the inside was like a carpet in one direction. Now the whole thing goes in one direction, so that the 10 plank layer of boarding that was around.
Listen, God, Sharon, I'm not saying. Why did you let them continue the job then?
Because when I walked in to see how they were doing on the floor sanding, they had taken a rip saw and tore right through the middle of the room before I even got there. So I was in shock. Because I was
the ceiling's fine. So what we're talking about is you don't like the way they replaced.
Really fine. Yeah, I don't like the way they. I mean, they asked me what kind of texture I wanted on the ceiling, and I told them, and they did something totally different.
We got to see this. I want to see.
We need photos, man.
Because here's something that might happen. If she can prove that floor that she had a lot more value than whatever they replaced it with, maybe we can get her a check or something through one of our public adjusters.
Or we get it redone. But Mark, that wasn't her insurance company. It was the HOA who did it voluntarily. Her insurance company did not do this job. I mean, you may want to try talking to your insurance. Have you talked to your insurance about putting it back to the way it was?
I just tried to call the insurance today because I was like,
who's your carrier?
My insurance.
Who's your
with Travelers.
They're not a bad company. Try it, but send us photos, and we'll have somebody call the HOA if we think it's we have to see it first.
Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 630 KHOW. Learn how you can earn full-time income as a short-term trader. That's the Trading Group Show. Saturdays at 11 a.m. Your question line.
I want to hear about Gordon, whose wife tore up their bring up while she's on meth. Yeah, look at line number 1, Tom. I want to hear this.
I mean, who cares if they tore up the freight?
If it's not recorded somewhere, he's screwed.
Oh my God. Okay, well,
right.
that's different than.
Hey, let's talk about buy and build. I love buy and build, where you can buy anything you want for the kitchen and bath. Buy and build kitchen and bath in their new location, 560 South Lipan. What does buy and build do? Well, they sell you below wholesale cabinets, vanities, countertops, sinks, faucets, bath hardware, accessories, plumbing fixtures, lighting. Whatever you want, they got. And you can send your contractor there, go with your contractor, or let Buy and Build do the whole job turnkey. 560 South Lipan, buyandbuild.net, 303-295-6022. If you're looking for a loan, Ideal Home Loans is another lender I highly recommend because Ideal has the ideal loan for you. All you have to do is ask. They have the custom term loan. No matter what term you pick it for you, not for them. And you don't have to do a 15 or 30. They also have a pre-approval, which is like a cash deal. The money's approved, set aside, and ready to go. So as soon as you buy a house or find a house and make an offer, it's like a cash deal. They also have, this is very important, the interest rate guarantee. That means that over the next 2 years, if rates go down, they refinance you free of charge. And after that, you get another 2-year guarantee. Ideal Home Loans with all salary-based loan officers, so they're not trying to point you in one direction or another. They're trying to find the best loan for you, and here's the deal. You have an Ideal Home Loan that you can do without ever stepping into their building, on phone or online. IdealHomeLoans.com, 303-867-7000.
So many people have told me about Orchard, and no wonder. It's the new way to sell.
Orchard makes you a cash offer for your home. And when your home sells for more, you keep the difference. No longer do you have to choose between an easy home sale or the best price for your home. Let me tell you about Rudy, a recent Orchard customer. Rudy's home sold on the market for $33,000 above his cash offer. Had he gone to a home buying company, he would have missed out on that extra money. But with Orchard, he got more cash at closing. Rudy's story isn't unique. 99 out of 100 Orchard customers sell on market for more than their cash offer. Getting started is easy. You go online and enter your address at orchard.com. It's just a couple minutes. and lets you skip home listing hassles. If you're thinking about selling or just curious what Orchard would pay for your home, get a no-cost, no-obligation offer at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
This guy online one is great. He's on his fourth marriage. He's already had 2 ex-wives take homes from him, so he decided gonna get a prenup this time when I marry the girl. Married 10 years, she admits she's been doing meth. She breaks into a safe, takes a gun in the prenup, tears it up. It's like this crazy mess. And now he's afraid she's going to get his house or something. I don't know.
I bet he's on.
I thought prenups were recorded with the court.
The lawyer or the court must have one.
Oh, okay, and I think that's what he said.
Yeah.
The lawyer had one and he lost it.
Well, that could be a problem.
For the lawyer, yeah.
That could be a real
Is that even real? Do you think it? I mean, it's just.
Guy sounded serious as heck.
Oh my God! I mean, that doesn't sound real, does it?
What, the fourth marriage, the prenup, the meth?
The
Which
whole
part?
thing. If you're both smoking, it sounds great.
I'm telling you.
If they're both smoking, it sounds right on time.
Seriously injured because of someone else's recklessness, and we do whatever it takes.
Well, you're a little judgy over there.
Me?
Yeah.
Well,
Come on, 4 marriages, it happens.
well, you know, you hang around. This is like what, the 4th time I've been with you. You're rubbing off on me. Everybody here is.
This is former Notre Dame quarterback Brady Quinn. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by DuckDuckGo.
Former Broncos star linebacker Von Miller posted his farewell tweet to Denver fans yesterday after being shipped to the Rams in a shocking trade on Monday. The Broncos also placed tight end Noah Fant on the COVID-19 list.
So you guys think about Cronky Sports Entertainment demanding to see your vaccine card before entering the building?
It's going to get worse.
They can do what they want to private business.
What is it that makes you
No, I'm not going to
uniquely you?
another
Well,
avalanche game.
DuckDuckGo doesn't think that's any of their business. And frankly, it shouldn't be the business of any tech company. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo.
Stay connected with
That's how you vote, with your attendance.
Talk station. Sign up for
Get 'em with the money.
at khl.com/newsletter. Breaking news, weather, sports, and more from our community. That's khl.com/newsletter.
All right, 303-3713-8255.
Now, this one sounds just horrible. Gordon apparently is on his 4th marriage. Yeah, 4. I guess number 3, the lucky one, didn't work out. They had a prenup, and if I'm reading this right from Suzanne's notes, she apparently tore up the prenup. Is that correct, Gordon?
Yes, it is. Hey, Tom.
So, Gordon, let me ask you this. Generally, when you have a prenup, it gets recorded with the courts, or your attorney would hold it. Have you asked your attorney?
Exactly. There wouldn't be like one copy like the dog ate it, you know?
I was going through a lawsuit because I broke my back on a job suit. So I had a job suit. I had an attorney. I sent it where you signed for it.
How long ago was the prenup?
18 years. We've been married 18 years.
And okay, and where did the prenup go after you guys signed it?
It went to an attorney, and it went under the carpeting in my gun safe. And I was the only one that had the code.
Okay, so hold on. So she went into your gun safe and got it?
Yes, she was on meth for 10 years, which I didn't know.
You didn't know your wife was on meth for 10 years?
No, I don't know anything about. I didn't try coke in my life. I don't know anything about.
Did you think her teeth were just rotting out for the hell of it, or what?
No, they weren't rotting out. Just she was always angry, and it just broke all the. I kept begging her family.
I can see he was in touch with his marriage.
What about skin eruptions and all that? I mean, come on, meth addicts have No,
not that kind of alley meth addict. You can be a functioning meth addict, apparently.
I didn't know that, Gordon, but okay, good. Hey, listen, man,
well,
I need not good. I want to ask you something, though. She went into your gun safe. What about the copy that your attorney had?
They can't find it. They couldn't find it. a year after I needed it when she wanted to get divorced, and they said, we don't know where it's at. And even the lady who signed for it doesn't know where it's at. So they sent a girl in there, and they looked through my records, my boxes, and never found it. And my attorney ended up saying, well, it doesn't matter. They go right around those anyway. He goes, my prenup and my own prenup didn't work.
Okay.
So he goes, that wouldn't help.
Gordon, if you tell me what was in your prenup?
Well, I didn't want her to get any money from my settlement because I've been married 3 times before.
From what settlement? Hold on, Gordon. From what settlement?
When I broke my back on a work site. And
when? Before you married her?
Yeah, before I met her.
She's not entitled to that anyway.
So I don't need the prenup?
Well, let's call one of our attorneys, Suze. Let's call Rich if he's around. Rich Harris. Is Suze on the phone? Okay, Rich. I mean, Suze. Hold on. Normally, if there's settlements like that before the marriage, they're yours. But if there's an increase in value, and that's what I don't understand about this settlement, how much did you get before you were married? I'm not asking if you said the settlement was made before you were married, before you met her. How much did you actually receive before you met her?
I didn't get any before I met her. It took 8 years and actually went to the Supreme Court, and we lost.
Hold on. Wait. So you never did get a settlement?
I got it after we were married.
Okay, but the injury was before you were married?
Yeah, well before.
How much did you get after you were married?
$150,000.
Okay. Where did it go?
I bought her boobs, and I got her a car, I got a truck, and I built the house.
So there is no settlement anymore. What do you mean you didn't want her to get it? Too late.
Well, the settlement's in the house, and that's what she wants, because the house...
Hold on, bro. Hold on. How much of the settlement went into the house?
About $120,000.
Okay, so that 120 went into the house. It's marital property, unless you have something to the contrary, which you said you did. But even if you had something on the settlement, how do you address what you bought with the settlement? Like, once you turn that into a marital property, you've converted the nature of the settlement. Do you understand that? You understand what that means?
I don't. I thought that any money that I got from my settlement, she wasn't allowed to touch.
That's possible if it was written that way. But if you get the money and buy you a house, the house was in whose name?
It was in my name for 9 years, and then she screamed. Mine and my
It doesn't
son's name,
matter. I'm not talking about 9 years. Whose name was the house in?
It was in my name only.
For the entire is it still in your name only?
No.
Well, Gordon, then you're not answering my question. I'm not asking who did it used to be in. I'm asking who's it in right now. You converted that to a gift. You gave her a gift. You gave her marital property. If I say to my wife, that Rembrandt is mine, after we get married, it's still mine in a prenup, or that bank account is mine, and then I take money out of the bank account, or I sell the Rembrandt, and I buy her a car, or I buy a house for both of us, now guess what? I have changed the nature of the asset.
So by putting her name on it, I lost it?
I didn't say that. I'm not giving you legal advice. You've changed the nature of the asset. It is no longer your settlement. It's just like in bankruptcy court. When your wages are exempted 75%, guess what? If you take those wages and buy something, you've changed the nature.
I didn't know that.
Well, of course. Think about it. Income is protected from creditors. They can only get 25%. If you change the income into an asset, they can't take just 25% of the asset.
You're not going to get her boobs back either. It's the same. I'm being serious in a way because
you are serious.
You change the money into boobs in that.
That's right. You change the money into boobs. You change the money into a car. You change the money into a house. Now it just so happens the money you changed into her car, all of it's hers. The money you changed into a house is both of yours. It's not just hers, but it's both of yours.
What about the attorney losing that prenup, Tom? Is there any errors and omissions for attorneys or anything like that?
Okay, hold on. Sure. Here's what we do now. Here's what we do. We got his wife, we got Gordon, and we have the attorney. He's going to go to court and sue the attorney for losses based on a lost NUP, saying that NUP would have been enforced and saying that the NUP protected the house, and it didn't. It protected the settlement. So what are you suing for? You're suing because you're an idiot and you took the money that was protected and changed it? Because you're still not going to help them. You know, Gordon, we need to get an attorney on to help you. Hold on a second. I don't want you going off on what I'm saying. I'm just saying my gut feeling on this thing.
I wonder...
Changing the nature of assets is a big fucking deal. Okay, Medicare. They can't garnish your Medicare, your Medicaid, Social Security, Mark. What if I take that fucking Social Security and I buy a car? They can put a lien on it.
No, I wonder, like with us, there's a statute of limitations for medical records. I have to keep them for X number of years.
Oh no, that attorney violated, but
well, how do you know? What if there's a 10-year limit on retaining
Oh, I see. Well, let's say the attorney, but it doesn't matter. Even the attorney fucking violated it. What did he lose?
Well, I agree.
You know, you have to prove some kind of goddamn loss.
Or we should find out whether.
Yeah. What can you find out?
I think you have to
look it up.
Yeah.
Don't you have to do something with the prenup though? It's got to be filed.
Our attorneys would know it.
I thought so. Let's ask. We'll ask.
It seems silly.
No, of course. Why have it?
Like a deed,
like you file it with a wedding certificate, marriage certificate. I don't know, Mark. Like it sounds.
Seems like you would file it simply.
Like you lodge a will, right? You don't have to even lodge a will, though. That's another. Hold on, guys.
Oh.
Mile High Estate Planning is now Blake Harris Law. I can't stress enough the importance of Blake Harris Law. For example, did you know Blake Harris Law with estate planning can do a post-nup or a prenup? Do you know that? Had Gordon gone to Blake Harris Law and asked questions, Blake would have explained all of the ins and outs of this prenup. Blake would have kept a copy of it. Listen, if you have a question about your estate, and that means protecting yourself from divorce, protecting yourself from creditors, protecting yourself from nuisance lawsuits, you need BlakeHarrisLaw.com. For a simple will, BlakeHarrisLaw.com. For anything to do with your estate, a beneficiary deed, BlakeHarrisLaw.com. And here's the deal. You can call and ask all your questions free. He only charges for what he does. 833-ASK-BLAKE. 833-ASK-BLAKE. Reverse loans, you've heard me talk about them, and I am a believer in reverse loans under most circumstances, as long as you do them the right way. Approval Reverse is one of the lenders we highly recommend. Joan Sullivan and her team, ApprovalReverse.com, 303-771-3528. That's 303-771-3528.
All right, so check it out. The guys at 888heating.com, they're doing this. I love it. You can get $2,000 off a new furnace, air conditioner, a new system. On top of that, if you donate a coat to them when they're on scene, they're going to knock off another $100. You donate 5 coats, that's an additional $500. That would be $2,500 off a new system. 888heating.com. They're the guys on top of the great deal and the great discounts and helping people out there. You can also get 0, and I mean 0% financing on that new system. 888heating.com is their website. Their phone number is 888-HEATING. Fall in Colorado.
Coaster, a 70-degree football Sunday can turn into a shovel a foot of snow Monday.
This guy really
can be fun, even exciting, but for many of our neighbors, those kind of fest changes become a big challenge, and they now need a place to turn a hot meal, a warm bed. Your gift to Catholic Charities provides support for women, families, veterans, and seniors. Go to ccdenver.org/support. Catholic Charities, supporting neighbors, transforming lives. One of the best things.
You know what was weird?
was having experts to call on from to help callers.
You know, the Pope said that Biden should get communion.
I don't buy that.
I don't.
You should get what?
Communion.
There's no way.
I don't understand why the Pope would say that.
He did. That's a lie.
Oh, you think it's just an outright bullshit?
It's outright bullshit. And the Pope, I tell you, the Pope is not Catholic. He's a
Jesuit, but
yeah,
he's also Catholic, though. They're Catholic.
Yeah, well, I'm Catholic, and
I know. But the point is, it's a major tenet of the church, and if he is against it,
He shouldn't get communion.
Well, I don't know how you can.
You can't get communion. You live in sin, you do anything.
How about if you repent against it, but you still have to change your way, right?
Well, you have to go to confession. Yeah.
The problem with him going to confession is he'd nod off.
He'd fall asleep. You know, they had to send somebody to wake him up and say,
God, that video, at first I thought it was like Fox News was going to take a 2-second deal and turn it into something, because he goes like this, and I'm like, oh, well, that's not falling asleep, but then he goes, and he was out until someone walked over and woke him up.
Yeah, I know, it's insane.
Joe.
This can't be
They don't call you Sleepy Joe for no reason.
I don't understand this. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a surreal world, isn't
it? It is.
It shows you how much Trump pissed people off, though, with his attitude.
Well, you know what? I got to tell you, I used to think that the election in some cases was rigged, but now I understand. I think people got fed up with the tweets, and they didn't understand that he was tweeting to defend himself because of the bullshit Russia investigation. And so
it was bullshit.
It was.
From day fucking one, it was all Hillary Clinton.
It was all staged. And so, you know, last night, Fox News for the first time, Brett Baer and Martha McFly, there was a county in Virginia that was delayed, and they were like, wait a minute, this is like deja vu again. Are they waiting to see how many votes McAuliffe needs? Right? And they even mentioned that. Oh, my God. That's it. I mean,
wake up the dead.
I do think Pennsylvania was stolen. I do think that.
To me, it wasn't. When we use the word stolen, I think the election was stolen because the media lied. They blacked him out like it didn't exist. Any true story that was negative Joe Biden, like his piece of shit son in the laptop, fucking disappear from Twitter, Facebook. To me, that's the thievery.
I agree with you.
It's in cahoots.
Yep, that's it.
That's all right. They got theirs last night. Fuck them.
I have to believe with my faith that someday.
Fuck the elitists, man.
Yeah,
you know what? They even look down on their own fucking kind now.
Yeah, they're gonna eat themselves within.
You step out of step with those assholes. Hey, well, maybe we shouldn't pay $500,000 to people that snuck over the border. Oh, how fucking dare you say something like that?
$450,000 per family.
More than a fucking vet would get if he got shot during a fucking war.
$450,000 per family. Are you insane?
No, but that's no. Per person. The average family would get at least $1 million because there's.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Let's go to the phones, 303. We're trying to get Rich Harris for you, Gordon, so hang on, please. We will get you some information, okay? Lori, welcome to the show. How can we help you, Lori? What's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you today?
I'm doing well. I hope I can help you. What's going on?
So I'll try to make it short. I had a storage area that I couldn't keep paying on for multiple reasons, and they auctioned my things.
And that's the natural course of events.
The auction website said that personal items and pictures, personal papers, medical documents, birth certificates, all that kind of stuff isn't included as part of the auction, and that.
Well, hold on. What do you mean personal? What do you mean personal items?
Like papers.
Yeah, documents.
Forms, birth certificates.
Yeah. Documents. Usually that's not. That doesn't mean they retain them for you.
So, but it said that it was supposed to be left at the office.
Okay, let's examine this, Lori. When was the last time you paid rent on this storage?
Oh, it was 4 months ago.
Okay. Oh, hold on. It was only 4 months ago.
That's correct.
Okay, hold on. So then when did they actually auction it off?
This last week sometime. I have to check for the date.
Okay, hold on. So it's not like I thought we were going to talk years. So it's really fresh. They should have that. So what excuse do they have for not having it? What do they say happened?
She says the lady in the office just said that they wouldn't be having anything to do with that they would give the guy my phone number, and if he decided to call me back, then I would get my things, and if not, I was out of luck.
Well, hold on. How are they supposed to know where your personal docs are if you don't go and tell them before they sell it?
They won't let you go through it. It's like as soon as you're 30 days late, they lock you out of things.
Wait, where are you reading this personal docs not included? Wait, can you show us where you're reading this?
Sure, it's on the website. If you give me just a moment, I'll pull it up for you.
So it's on their website?
It's on the auctions website.
Oh, that's the auctions website. That's what they say. So they're okay. I don't think there's a contract between you and the storage facility. I thought it was on your contract with the storage facility.
No, it's the auction site that they use to auction off
I get it.
Things.
So it's the auction site you have an issue with.
Well, it's like they said that all my things would be left in the office.
Okay, but Lori, the auction site made that promise. They can't tell the storage facility what to do. The auctioneers are saying to you, we're not going to include your personal stuff. We're going to keep it in the office. Well, okay, they're going to keep it in their office. They can't tell the storage facility to do it. I mean, they don't have any dictation over the storage. So where is the storage facility? Do they have it?
No, they don't. They let the guy who won the auction take off with it. And it's like he's got the identities of at least 10 of my family members, and 3 of them are minors.
What does that have to do with anything? I mean, that stuff was in there. Look, they didn't steal it.
But if they use this particular auction site, don't they have to go by the policies that are established by that auction site?
No, not at all. If they use an auction site, the auction site establishes their own policies, and the auction site is responsible for their policies. Look, your bad guy's the auction site, okay? They use the auction site. I don't know of any law that says they can't auction off your personal stuff. So you're talking about an auctioneer and their own policy, and you want to hold them to their own policy. So I need to see the policy. We want to see the website of the auctioneer, okay? And then that's where we call. And they should be able to retrieve your personal stuff. If they make that promise, they should be able to keep that promise.
Now, impact traffic from the DuckDuckGo Traffic Center, sponsored by Rovida's Window Center.
Looking at traffic, getting around the
It says he's a storage expert, and the person who buys the unit is responsible for to return person's property.
And of course, that means a delay.
Say that again, Tilly. Traveler says this. I'm a storage expert. The person who buys the unit is responsible to return personal items. It says 20 years in the business. No one goes through the unit before it is bought at auction. Oh.
Denver weather, cloudy, high today.
They don't open them, you just don't pay.
It's auction.
Right now it's sunny.
They say they don't include personal stuff.
They agree to give back any personal papers, is what he's saying.
Then ask them the auction site, right?
Is that in the agreement when you bid? Give us a little more.
Is that the auction site thing?
I know this is Travelers. One of our
listener that does it for a living.
All right, let's
talk about Claims Pro. If you're looking for a public adjuster, one of them, Claims Pro, on our referral list at referralist.com. Now, if you get an insurance claim, don't expect the insurance company to treat you fairly. They can get you thousands of dollars where some insurance companies will only offer you hundreds of dollars. You need them on your side, and they only charge a percentage of what they increase for you. 833-252-4600. 833-252-4600. Publicadjuster.pro. FixMyHome.com. You should be on that website now or calling 720-526-3939 for plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. Right now, we have a reprieve. Yes, it's a little chilly, but you really need to get on this. If your furnace is on its last leg or getting old or just needs a cleaning and refurbishing, Fix It 24/7 can do it. Just $39 if you haven't had it done. They'll come in and clean, refurbish, and adjust that furnace and make it like new, except, of course, if they find a problem. But that's the good part. If they find a problem, they'll let you know. You don't pay any more than $39, and you have time to think. FixMyHome.com. Fix it 24/7. Don't wait. Get it done now. 720-526-3939. 720-526-3939. If you're looking for a loan, Affordable Interest Mortgage has so many options. First, jumbo loans, VA loans, FHA loans, the fix-up loan, where you can actually find a home you like and you identify what needs to be fixed up, and you apply for this loan, and they will appraise that house for the finished product. Think about that. You get a higher appraisal. Then the extra money to fix it up is put in escrow, and you fix up the house without drawing it out of your bank. That is a great affordable interest loan, the fix-up loan. They also have the liquid loan. The liquid loan is a 30-year line of credit, so whatever you owe, it pays off, and then you get a checking account to write checks on the balance. Yeah, you get to write checks when you need extra money or put it back when you don't. In fact, if you have extra money, like a paycheck or whatever, to pay bills, and you put it in that checking account, it pays down your balance for the time it's in there, so you pay less interest. AIMortgage.net, 720-895-0500.
So, the person who buys the unit gets everything in it.
Is he quoted though?
Okay, hold on. It is requested they return personal items.
There is no law
that
I know of. Where are you reading
the
that?
law of being decent?
Just on here with.
I want to read the auctioneer who she said she.
See if he can send that, whatever they abide by or attempt to abide by. Savings mean more now. What would you do with up to 30% savings on workers' comp? I imagine you'd invest it back into your company and your employees. From one founder to another, I know you work hard to build your business. Let us help you protect what you started. Ask your agent. Okay, what is this? It's trypie.com. That's TRYPIE.com. Okay, Bonnie Shields.
Hi, it's Mandy Connell. Join my friends Gary Bell and Brad Pollock for the Bell and Pollock Legal Show right here on KHOW every Saturday morning at 7. It's a live call-in show to give Coloradans like you free legal advice on any topic you'd like to discuss with them.
Tune into Peace to You from Peace Lutheran Church in Arvada this Sunday. Peace to You brings you encouragement and a fresh, uplifting start to your week. Peace to You comes every Sunday right here on 630 KHOW at 7:30 a.m.
New orders out on time without working overtime. It's possible with Staples Connect. Staples Connect.
Man, this looks frou fra 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 frou fra fra fra.
What is it?
This is restaurant.
On select shipping supplies like
A frou fra 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 fra.
Garage, Parker Garage, the steakhouse.
Have you been there?
No.
What is that?
It is in
Parker Garage.
West Main Tap Room.
Couches are flying off the floor at Cheyenne's Furniture Store.
We're hiring, no shit.
She needs more sales associates.
You're hiring no shit?
There's not one fucking company I know of that's not hiring. All right, what do they got here?
Indeed,
Fancy gourmet coffee.
instantly connects you
That's what they actually call it, fancy gourmet coffee.
Match your sponsored job description.
Fried local chicken!
Credit and get $75 was your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
In the 90s, Bruce Willis couldn't avoid the spotlight.
Let's do it.
Until he discovered a tiny mountain town. On the podcast, Haleywood discovered what
It's not the biggest menu.
collided with the small town values.
This might irritate other people. Look at me thinking of other people.
That's because you're such a kind-hearted soul.
No, that's because we're getting close to Christmas, and the spirit of Christmas is touching his heart.
That's right.
It's like Grinch. He's just studying.
Trying to get Timmy to drop in. Yeah, go.
What was that just called? I said you looked at it. Parker, what?
So
What was
what
the
are we
name of that
learning, guys?
restaurant?
What are we learning? What are we learning, guys?
We are learning that Democrats have really screwed up the country in general.
Mark really has a soft heart on the inside.
And Mark has a soft heart.
Yeah, everything he's just for show. Yeah, he's a sensitive cancer.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Welcome. Let's go to the phones and continue this. This storage issue, Suze, what are you doing?
So, Tom, check your email. I just sent you the link to where it addresses personal belongings from the storage auction folks.
Yeah.
Did you read it? What's it say?
I just got it last minute as we were coming back.
I'm getting it too. But I looked and I don't see any law here. That's the thing. I don't see any laws that really do this. Hold on now.
Shannon says it actually says there is no law.
Yeah, there is no law. So she's going to have a tough time. During live auctions, it is not uncommon to open a unit and see filing cabinets or file boxes full of folders and papers. Immediately, auction buyers begin to ask, can we leave the files? Technically, if not legally, the answer is that you should be yes, you can leave the files. Most self-storage lien laws do not specifically address the topic of personal information. Of course it doesn't. That's what I've said. However, almost every state has other regulations on the sale of items revealing someone's identity. Okay? This includes tax document, medical record, blah, blah, blah. It is illegal for a storage operator to sell the items, yes and no. Okay, it is likely illegal for them to sell such items knowingly. See, if these are inside cabinets, they can sell it. I'm telling you they can. Talib, what also did you find?
Now, Tom, also look at the screenshot I just emailed you last minute.
Okay, and Talib, what did you find? You also found something.
I didn't really find a lot. I'm just talking with Traveler here on the YouTube. And, and he's just indicating pretty much what you're finding out. That
there's no law.
There's a lot of requesting and a lot of suggesting, but nothing that.
Listen to what it says. Listen to what it says. The winning bidder buys the entire storage unit, everything in the cabinets, everything. It's broom swept. Purchaser shall have all photos and everything. Basically what it's saying is they get everything, and if they want, they can forfeit all that stuff, and they can give it back to you. You know, I think, Lori, you believe you have more rights than you do. That's the problem.
She doesn't have any fucking rights to this stuff.
No legs.
No. She's at the mercy of the guy that bought the stuff.
No legs at all. And wow. And it's really kind of cute here. He says, but photos and personal items like schoolwork and passports, etc., are requested to be returned, but not often. Okay. And John says, well, what's considered personal? Okay. And Joe says, things that are of no value to the buyer. Well, excuse me, if I'm an identity stealer, that stuff would be of value.
Well, right now, I've got 4 identifications with kids, and I got a bunch of illegals that I just gave them to.
Who, you did?
No.
Yeah. Gotcha.
You know, I mean, he could sell it back to him. How much is this stuff worth to you?
It's worth me recording you asking me to sell it to me and guaranteeing you that if somebody comes up to you with the police will knock on your door.
Well, I mean, it's just the identity theft is
big business. Is what it is. Somebody.
You just have to think, Doc, that the natural course of life that all this nonsense is going to get, reset. Right? Karma's real, right?
Absolutely. The only thing that's real is the universe, and it's just fine. Sad situation for us, but the universe is just fine. It's doing its thing.
I'm going to go back to karma is real, and you write enough bad karma checks, and it's time to pay the piper.
And somebody's going to close your account.
Then they'll know what it feels like when you get your storage unit auctioned off and all your personal stuff taken away. Oh, crap.
No legs, no boobs, and it's been a rough one on the Martino show today.
Well, you wouldn't want to take boobs with you anyway, seriously.
Go put me some saline in some baggies anytime I feel like it.
You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you, the next big business in 20 years is buying companions. Robotic companions. The next 20 years is going to be the thing.
Buying companions?
Yep.
Buy me a companion.
That's what trust me.
Remember that was slavery, dude.
No, the robots.
Robots.
Yeah, robots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember there was a movie with Franklin Jella where he got a same thing. He was a lonely old guy, and his kids bought him like a robot as a companion, and they became inseparable.
Yeah. I think the robot. I think that's the artificial intelligence.
Okay, so I guess they're gonna give you an Oculus with your cubicle, and you just put it on, and you're in Neverland forever.
So, you feel bad for all the people that believe in cryogenics and got their heads cut off and frozen like Ted Williams.
But he did already.
Yeah. I'm telling you, all people that are on ice right now are going to be all pissed off when they realize that,
Heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness. Don't wait.
Remember seeing that movie, Blade Runner? Mm-hmm. You gotta think that, wow. I mean, synthetic. I mean, they're making synthetic organs right now.
By phone, online, or in person.
The boy come.
Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Telling you.
K-Hal News Time, 103.
The boy contest.
I think, the older we get, we realize it's like what all our ancestors, the time before us, they shook their head, and they all said, like we're saying, I'm glad I'm not going to have to deal with all this nonsense that's coming down the road.
Are more dangerous than they've been at any point.
And then we look for, what's next, That's kind of exciting if you think about it. What's next?
It's kind of exciting.
See, with my faith, I all I'm worried about is making sure I get my stuff right, because thank you, you're very kind.
That's what they say.
See, yeah,
they lie.
That's what they say.
Both of them are.
Yeah, I truly understand at my age what it means not to be judgmental when I'm younger. I'm judgmental. But as I've grown, I realize that's not me to judge. It's not me to get 52.
Guess what?
What?
You're going to find out it's even less.
I'm telling you, I can't believe how many things right now that I don't care about, but I did when I was younger.
Man.
It's like, why couldn't I live like that back then?
Why didn't I get it?
Yeah.
I always said that before I got married, at least, about women. If I knew women like I know women now, I would have done a lot better with women pre-getting married, of course.
I would have. My first marriage I write off because it didn't last a year, so that's a mulligan. That don't count. Right? My second marriage was just completely stupid. My third marriage, I'm grateful and it's great, and it's lasted.
Took you three.
Took me 3. But it's because you have, you know, young, you have the wrong idea. You know?
Well, you have the wrong woman, too.
Absolutely.
I've been married 30 years.
30 years?
She moved in when she was 16 with me, dude. I was 18.
Really? My current Colleen and I, we had a mutual friend who was passing away. We met at his deathbed. We spent 27 hours holding his hand until he passed away. Yeah, and we just, I mean, we just fell in love. Yeah,
It created the bond.
Yeah,
That's wild.
Yeah.
How did you know each other?
No, we didn't.
Not even in passing.
No. And so he called me and called her. You know, you picked the two people he wanted to be with.
He had a plan for
So
y'all.
yeah.
That is kind of weird thinking about
He had a plan for y'all.
That was.
He knew y'all was gonna be here when he was gone.
Yeah, it all started in Swedish. And 13 years later, you know, it's like, you know, you don't listen to love songs because they don't mean anything.
Now that's all you play.
I'm just.
I think Biden's doing a bad job.
Who?
Biden.
No, I think he's doing just a fucking chopped up solid job, man. He's
What?
Solid
good
job
guy.
is nothing, huh?
He's the man. You know what I love, though? I love finally having an energetic president. The way he just fucking runs circles around the other world leaders. What would Mel Torme say? He would say, I think he's tops.
Well, how do you remember him?
Just watching an old black and white video.
Oh, I think the Velvet Fog's still around, isn't he? I don't think he's croaked.
He's dead.
He's dead.
Long dead.
Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. I can't say enough for these young men at Premier Windows or Premier Window Cleaning. They're just good people, and they have such a great value. It's Premier Window Cleaning Services and pressure washing. Now, in addition to the window cleaning and pressure washing, they do holiday light installations. You need to call them on that. They can even find you the lights. They do the installations. They can store them. They do storefront or restaurant window cleaning and pressure washing. They do individual, of course, residences. And they do commercial lights and residential lights for the holidays. Premier Window Cleaning Denver.org. Premier, P-R-E-M-I-E-R. Premier Window Cleaning Denver.org. 303-564-5574. These young men came out of high school, started this company, have been going for years, doing a great job. 303-564-5574. Okay, now, we are trying to get our attorney on for a family question or a divorce, a prenup question. Really, it's a fascinating one. And then we have a storage unit issue, which we just can't help Lori under the circumstances. Lori, listen, I understand your concern, and I'd be pissed too, but you have a storage unit. There are no laws that protect personal documents at all. If they're inside something, they can't knowingly sell identities if they know it. If it's inside boxes, filing cabinets, or your stuff, and the other people buy it, they encourage the other people to let you have access to it, but they can't make them. You don't really I wish you had something you could pin your hat on and say, this is it, do it, and make them. But there's nothing we can do to make them. If this person will contact you, there's no reason they would want your personal documents. But you said there was something in there. There is absolutely nothing in the storage treasures documentation and the auctions that promise you that they're going to keep your stuff. I mean, I wish I had something to help you with. What was there anything in there that can't be replaced?
Yeah.
Like what?
Family pictures, diplomas, marriage licenses. I mean, it can be replaced, but it won't have my husband's real signature.
Well, surely they gave her a warning. Why didn't you go pick that stuff up?
First of all, I don't know if she's allowed to pick it up.
They won't let me.
They're not allowed to pick up personal stuff.
Only if she paid it off.
Only if she paid it. How much did you owe in total?
By the time 4 months was up and all the late fees, $2,000. but it's like my husband and I have rented there for 30 years.
Oh, my goodness.
So,
I thought you said, wow, 30 years.
Kind of expected. Yeah, a little bit more loyalty on their side.
No, that's, my God, 30 years?
Right.
Did you always have stuff in there? Did you always have personal documents in there?
No, but I lost my home when COVID hit because I had to choose between the payment on a house and not having a car to do my job.
So right now, Lori, are you homeless right now?
Yeah.
Where are you living?
In my car.
Oh, my God. COVID, she said. Did you lose your job?
No, I kept my job because I kept my car. If I would have kept my house, I would have lost my job because I wouldn't have a car. I couldn't pay for both. There was too much of a pay cut, like all through the last year and a half.
And you're not married. You say you're married or not married right now?
Well, I'm a widow. My husband died 10 years ago.
So do you have children?
I do, but they're not in the area.
Okay. So you're all alone living out of your car. Golly. Huh. So your kids are how old?
My kids are in their 30s and 40s, and my grandkids are from 7 to 22.
All right. And they're all scattered around the country?
They're in different places, yes.
Okay, so right now, other than sentimental, and I don't mean that as a small thing, but other than the sentimental value, was there anything else you needed?
Their certificates, Social Security cards, wedding,
what birth certificates? What birth certificates? Your kids are in their 30s and 40s. Why would they need them now?
Well, I'm just saying all those things are there, and it's like this person that has our stuff could be perfectly decent. That's a very good possibility. But it's like they didn't know anything about this man that they let take all this stuff and identity.
But they don't have to. Do you understand, Lori? Those are the conditions. They don't have to. Now, granted, somebody that was there for 30 years and paid rent right up until 4 months, God, you would think they would, say, hey, let's work this out or whatever, or at least give you the name. Are they not allowed to give you the name of who bought the stuff?
I haven't asked for the name of who bought the stuff because they won't return my phone call.
Lori, we'll call. Listen, we can have Deputy Doc call them for one thing. Here's what we can do. We can ask that we ask him for your personal stuff, or we can ask that they truly deliver that message. So you never talked to them. So who's the one that told you? Who's the one that told you they were going to forward him the message?
So first I talked to the manager, and she told me that she wouldn't have anything to do with it, that she didn't have room for it, and that she'd give him the message, and if he called me back or not, that's not her problem.
How long ago?
And
how long ago?
Just this last week.
Well, we're going to call again and say, is there a way we can get a message to the buyer? We'll try to do that for you. Deputy Doc, let's just try on that. 303-713-TALK. Melanie, what's going on? Melanie, what's happening?
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
Thanks for taking my call. I signed a contract with Granite Transformations on August 25th.
Now, Granite Transformations used to be on the referral list a while ago. They had a pretty good product, the ground stone product that is it's a veneer. It can go over existing counter. Not a bad product. You signed a contract when?
And they're still on your referral list. That's where I found them.
Okay, and you signed them when?
August 25th.
And what's the problem?
Well, just the communication has been lacking. I don't know if they're understaffed. It just hasn't.
Everyone
really
is, yeah. But what is it that you're upset about? Like, are you thinking what? Because they have to make your counter, right?
Yeah, they do. I put 50% down on August 25th. They charged me for the full amount.
Wait a minute. Why'd they do that?
Well, I think it was an accident, and they did correct it. So
okay, they did correct it. So how much right now do you have paid into them?
$3,466.
That's a lot of money. So what is the last communication you had?
Well, they were supposed to come out on October 18th. They called and had to reschedule because Whoever's going to come do the template was going to be on vacation, so that was fine.
Listen, so many companies are having trouble. I hate to keep saying that, but
on October 14th, the morning they were supposed to be there, they called because 2 guys called out sick. And I talked to Melissa. She said she was going to talk to her general manager, Gene, and they would get back to me 2 weeks later. I didn't hear from them. I called in and just decided I wanted to cancel.
Yeah, but
And
I'm not sure.
To keep it but nothing's
Listen,
been done.
Suze, we should call Granite Transformations. If they're still on our referral list, we need to call them and see what they have to say about this.
So they've done nothing?
Nothing, yeah. I just
When they first came out to your house, how long did they spend?
Juliet was at my house for probably an hour and a half. For the estimate, and then I decided,
Well, how did they do it? They didn't do a template, but they did an estimate. So they did some measuring, but not a template.
Yeah, and they wanted to charge for the design, but I don't understand, that wasn't part of...
What design?
Part of the contract.
What design?
Well, when I asked Gene what the charge was for, if I could have, like a breakdown of what the $750 was for, he did lower it to $500.
Good.
He just said, towards design, and I just don't understand that because even if, when she came out to do the quote, I could have said no, and I never would have been charged anything. So I just feel a little put off by the whole thing. I wanted to possibly work with him.
I would too, man, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I don't like it at all. So let's call them and see if they have. Hold on, we'll call them.
Deputy Ken?
Huh? Yeah. Deputy Doc, you want to help us out? Okay, let's try that. 303-713-TALK.
I was looking up the retention laws for prenups. I was trying to read the complications.
What does it say?
It looks like as long as they give proper notice that they're going to be destroyed within a reasonable period, that they can be destroyed.
Would she be entitled to that design if she paid for it, even if she didn't have
I
work done?
I think that's a bullshit excuse.
No, that's what I'm saying, though.
Frank Duran, the real estate
Man.com. He's there to give you free market valuations of your home. He'll tell you what he thinks your home will sell for based on the market. He'll take pictures. He'll do measurements. It's damn near like an appraisal, but better because most houses sell for more than the appraisal. Now, listen, you probably still need an appraisal for the seller, right? The buyer, is going to need one, but you can at least know what your house is worth. Whether you want to fix it up or leave, it's up to you. Frank Duran, there's no obligation. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. I love RealCBDThatWorks.com. RealCBDThatWorks.com. It helps with pain. It helps with inflammation. I took it today. Talib took it today. We love it. And it also helps with anxiety if you have any. And you can get it at RealCBDThatWorks.com. Put Tom in the promo code, and you get 30% off. And don't forget, time for the insurance checkup. Every couple of years, you should check your insurance. Compass Insurance does it free of charge. 303-996-9000. TheInsuranceHelpCenter.com.
Order up.
So did you hear some Republicans think that Biden's chief of staff is really in charge?
Someone's in charge. No one can argue that.
Yeah.
They had an up-close picture of, it almost looked like a kid's picture book of reporters he was allowed to talk to.
Yeah, the guys...
It's pretty fucking crazy. He's actually holding a picture book. It's the same press corps all the time. If he really can't remember like 12 different people, shit.
He won't make it the full term.
I don't see how he does.
He doesn't make it. And I think if the Republicans take over Congress, I think you'll see.
Well, here's the problem. If they take over Congress, here what could be the problem. Then they shot their load, and if things don't change, they don't necessarily get a shot at the White House.
Yeah, no, but I think what will happen is that the saving grace will be investigation on the debacle out of Afghanistan, right? I think things are going to. You remember all what the Democrats did? They brought a bunch of this bullshit on Trump and had it on TV, and it didn't really do anything.
Winter is coming, but it's not too soon.
I think it's a different story when you have these hearings of real substance.
Access to the 2022 season.
Oh, of course.
The location,
It is.
the tickets you need, all of it, 10 to 20% discount off single game ticket price. Purchase your package.
They tried, everybody, and you know what? No one really gets in trouble. They completely lied. They falsified documents and testimony and everything to the FISA court.
Nobody got in trouble.
No one gets in fucking trouble. It's fucking just horrible.
What about Durham? I mean, he's not done yet.
Yeah, that's true. He's not. He's still kicking along.
And here's what, you know another guy you don't hear anything about? I forget his name. Who is that? Oh, gosh, I can see his face. Who is the CIA director?
Comey.
No, the other guy.
FBI.
FBI. Who's the CIA director that used to come out and just tweet like crazy and go on CNN and MSNBC? And he what was this? He had that like stone face. Was he Russian? And he looked like, what was this guy's name? You haven't heard anything from him. He's kind of like disappeared.
Well, they died in 1999.
Who did?
Mel Torment.
Oh, Torment.
What you guys need to listen to is that my suggestion, you get the podcast, old time radio shows.
I love it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Yeah, it's
You love what?
old time radio shows. Get an idea of how life was back then.
You talking about the dramas?
Yeah, Jack Benny. I love Suspense.
I used to listen to Mystery Theater, and I used to listen to The Shadow Knows.
Shadow, yeah. You got Philip Marlowe.
Not originally. I mean, I listened to them.
They're a little older than you.
You're not that much older than me.
20 years.
You are not 70.
How much of your money you want to put in my
70, bro.
He's 70.
How much of your money you want to put in my
52.
money? How much of your money you want to put
He's
in
the
my
youngest kid here at the
Yes,
table.
he is.
Oh my gosh.
How old do you fucking thought he was?
Maybe 60.
Maybe. Just because of his great beard.
That's it. You're 68?
Finance your mortgage and save $1,000
Driving me crazy.
70.
Who's that guy? Who's that guy? That's going to kill me now. He was a CIA director. He lied to Congress. And then, he would just attack Trump. And you don't hear him anymore. He's gone. Brennan. Was it Brennan?
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Let's go to Bill. Bill, what's going on with you, Bill?
Hey, Tom. Thanks for taking my call. I have an issue with foundation settling on one of my properties.
Yes.
And it's gradually, kind of progressively getting worse. I reached out to my insurance agency, requested a copy of the policy, and I haven't gotten it yet. And
well, your homeowner's policy won't cover that. Here's the thing. Almost never. But here's a time it could. There's earthquake insurance, and if the earth quaked, I don't mean an earthquake, I mean the earth moved, which could be settling, it could be covered. But most of the time, you're not even offered that insurance unless you're in an area where you get it. Bill, home insurance, homeowner's insurance is not a warranty. It's not a guarantee. It's not a service plan. A lot of people believe it does cover stuff like that, but it doesn't. It doesn't cover a worn-out roof. It doesn't cover a foundation settling. Now, if a bulldozer was working on next door and came up to your foundation, like I'm talking about, like rolled across, and it compressed the dirt into the side of your wall, which caved in, then that would be a covered event. If something happened to your house, that would be a covered event. But the fact that it's sinking or settling over the years is not a covered event.
okay. So they would, in regards to even if you had groundwater, that was causing the settlement.
Especially groundwater. Groundwater would be flood. They don't cover it unless you have flood insurance, and then that's more than seepage. I mean, when you say groundwater, that is a warranty. I mean, that's something you fix. That's a maintenance issue on your home. Now, if, let's say a swimming pool up above let loose, or something like a pipe broke in the city, and that water infiltration suddenly caused your soils to compact and you started sinking or expand, and it heaved, that could be covered. Could be.
Okay. No, it makes sense. I kind of anticipated your
Who's your
response.
carrier? Who's your carrier?
It's Burns and Wilcox.
That's your agency. Who's your carrier?
Well, the policy is written through the agency is Steve Sorhage.
Oh, you're really telling me that there is a carrier called Burns and Wilcox?
Yeah, I think they're underwritten through Lloyd's of London.
Why is that? Do you have a very expensive house?
No, it's a rental property.
Okay.
It's a duplex.
Yeah, Burns and Wilcox, I did not realize this, is an independent insurance. No, it's a broker. That's all it is. It's a broker, and it says managing underwriter for, I don't know. I don't know what that really means, to be honest with you. I don't know. But in any case, it doesn't matter. I was just curious. I think that you're screwed, is what I'm saying, when it comes to getting your house fixed. Robert has a comment on that storage unit. Felt bad for the lady. What do you have to say about it?
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Good. She had rent go, 4 months south. They sold her stuff. Inside the boxes were some personal items. She wants the storage unit to, get a hold of the buyer and see if he'll return the stuff. And I don't think that's a bad idea. I mean, why would he need the photos and birth certificates of her kids? What do you think?
He wouldn't need those. But the thing is, once I buy it, it's mine. So I'm going to go through every book, every piece of paper, everything, because there might be some bills in there. There could be some letters from people that signed them, from presidents, or who knows what it may be.
Right.
And that belongs to me.
Right.
So when I buy the units, if I find a number or anything like that, I would try and contact them. I had one unit, it belonged to a parole officer, and there were, oh my God, I mean, just boxes and boxes and boxes of information of these people. So I just took them back to the storage unit itself and put them in their office. Said, "You guys deal with it."
Oh, that's very good. So if you found personal information, if you found photos and stuff, you wouldn't just toss them. You would try to contact them if you could.
Well, I mean, I would. I think a lot of other people are just going to toss them because the odds of you finding somebody, because they let the unit go, they may have died. They could be in prison. I don't know where they're at.
I wonder.
But I'll call a couple of numbers.
Do you buy units as do you buy these as a hobby or a business?
No, I just wanted to try it once because I saw the show on TV.
And how did it work out?
It's too much trouble because if you don't have anywhere to sell it, there's some good items in there that you can get, but you have to sell it on eBay or you have to have somewhere to, a shop or what have you not. So unless you have somebody sitting at home that can do it all on eBay and you want that hassle.
I would almost wonder if some people, they do find stuff like birth certificates, marriage license, pictures of births, marriage.
What about it?
Well, then they contact them and go, hey, you want to buy this stuff back?
Oh, that's pretty rotten.
It's horrible, but I wonder if people, because it sounds like most of the time, here's what I think about it. Who would not pay a bill if they've got gold bricks in there? I mean, people that leave these facilities, what could there possibly
That's what I always think. That's right.
No, because if they die or if they go to prison, they could have stuff in there.
Oh, that's true.
And,
I wasn't thinking of that.
Did something wrong and he goes to prison, he has all kinds of stuff in there.
That's true, but you never found, you only did it once?
Yeah, I only bought one unit.
How much?
And I think I bought it for $250.
And how much did you yield?
Oh, I didn't. I think I got $100 out of it after all said and done. I mean, there were some nice leather jackets in there and different kind of clothes, but I just kept all that stuff. But otherwise, for the trouble, hauling the stuff off that was no good, taking it to the dump, nah. It's not like it looks on TV. Most of the time it is rubbish.
Well, I don't think it looks great on TV. Most of the time, those guys don't get much either. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. So, Paul, of all the homes that you test water in, and you do free water tests, right? So all someone has to do is call, and you'll do a free water test, and it's honest. You're not going to lie. You're not going to panic them. What is the most common problem you find in the Denver metro area? This is waterpros.net.
Most of our calls are from hard water.
Most of it is hard water. Not they want to purify the water, but that it's hard water.
It's hard water, yeah. It affects appliances. It builds up in the shower, the shower glass doors in new homes.
And you need a lot of soap. Laundry, you showed me something with laundry that blew my mind. You said, go get a clean towel or dishcloth or washcloth. I went and got a clean white one, pure as the driven snow, I thought. So he fills it up with really good, soft water. Then he wrings it out. And you know what? Loads of soap came out. All the water was gray. And I said, how'd you get all that soap out of there? Go ahead, how?
Well, because hard water causes soap basically to bond and stick. So when you wash your clothes, and that washcloth test we did, and you saw the soap come out of that washcloth.
Yeah.
It sticks in your shirts, in your underclothes. So then people that get skin irritation, the first thing when they go to the doctor, they ask what kind of laundry soap you use. So, when you're sweating, your pores open up. That just seeps right out. So that's a demonstration to show.
So hard water leaves residue.
What it does is causes the soap to curdle and stick. And so when you rinse it out, it's not rinsed out. Anybody, take bottled water, find a garment, rinse it, and see what's left over. And that's soft.
Why? Because bottled water is mostly soft?
Yeah, bottled water is mostly soft. Yep, anything that said purified is soft water.
Okay, so you have soft water, and it will show you what hard water leaves behind.
Absolutely.
Plus, it feels better when you wash with soft water.
That's right. That's why we got to get you a softener.
Yeah, and your skin feels better.
That's right.
The whole thing. Because I have the purification system. He's talking about softening. Yeah, although my water wasn't terrible, that's what we consider. It was like 7, So, but it would still, I'd feel a difference, wouldn't I?
You absolutely would. I mean, just think about the buildup that's occurring right now in the clothes that you wear. Look about the dishwasher, your wash machine. Majority, if you read the manufacturer warranty on new modern appliances, hard water can void the warranty.
Wow, and it can wreak havoc. Isn't that why Zerorez? I mean, they have a patented process, but isn't part of that super soft water?
Well, it's our own water. It's empty water.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we used to do.
And it's a cleaning water, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
So Zerorez is telling the truth when they say they can clean and sanitize.
Yeah, they're not using any soap because they're using soft water. Water's aggressive. So it's water with low pH. It's going to hit the stain. It's going to dissolve it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
I tell you what, you got a stain in your carpet, take your RO water and use it, pour it on the stain, and watch it disappear.
Really?
Honest to goodness, you bet.
It becomes a super cleaning agent without soap.
If we want to save our environment and the water in our water integrity, soft water, stop dumping cleaners and acid-based cleaners to clean up hard water, or water softener eliminates that.
I'm learning a lot. Waterpros.net. By the way, get your calls in. Problems, questions, complaints, 303-713-TALK.
Soft water is mine.
Tell you what. Put a softener in your house, and then when you come on there, you're going to say, man, I feel great. What a shower.
Do you have time after the show?
Yeah.
Okay. If we could, I got to get out of here because I got to leave for my kids. Maybe we'll meet, and then we'll leave. Okay. Over near Starbucks or something, we'll go over, and then I got to go to my kids. But I want to go over shit with you, so you're not left hanging here.
Appreciate it.
What I liked about having my soft water is how everything was slippery.
Yes.
That was so cool.
That's exactly it. Lemonade's dry skin.
Everything was just so slippery. It's like, okay.
There's companies that give away soap packages to try to, help, for their prices, justify the prices, and, and use less soap and then try to show savings. But legitimately, you eliminate a lot.
That's WestErosCU.com.
Let's talk about Colorado Pain Care Sport and Spine. I love this place. I'm trying to get Talib to go there. Why? Because he's in pain, I'm in pain. Well, you know what? I'm not in pain. I was in pain. I had chronic pain, and I'm serious about this. Chronic pain. They worked with my insurance and got me through it. Trigger point injection to begin with, and then physical therapy, and then a more invasive procedure. I was great. Then I injured myself. That was chronic pain. No, it was acute pain, but they still got me out of that. Hey, I have them on speed dial. Colorado Pain Care Sport and Spine. ColoradoPainCare.com. 303-GOT-PAIN. 303-GOT-PAIN. Blake Harris Law, not on speed dial, but he's somebody I refer to all the time for their estate planning. Whether it's a will, maybe it's an estate plan that involves trusts, maybe even offshore trusts to protect your assets. Here's another thing. You want maybe a prenup or a postnup, whatever it is, Blake Harris Law, if it has to do with protecting your assets through your life, through your death, through your heirs, he can do it. BlakeHarrisLaw.com. All the questions free. You just pay for what he does, flat rates. 833-ASK-BLAKE. 833-ASK-BLAKE. You know what I love talking about? RVs. Do you want to know why? Because it stands for real vacation. Century RV is my place. They have a fifth wheel up there that's redesigned. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. You know how fifth wheels hook to a truck, right? And then they have that upper loft that goes over the truck for the sleeping area. They've designed a fifth wheel that they've lifted up that is all one big floor, all one floor. And underneath, in order to do that, they put storage underneath the whole thing. You have never seen anything like this, especially great for long-termers, lifers, or long vacations. It's like a house. CenturyRV.com. 303-453-1111, 453-1111. Plenty of stock and the lowest prices in the nation on what they carry. CenturyRV.com.
Hi, Phil Swift here for the Flex Seal family of products. There's a lot of ways to protect your home.
I think that John Brennan is going to get in trouble. That's
think
why
so?
he's just disappeared.
That's why he's hiding.
Yeah. I think they got him. That's dead right.
Somebody's got his short.
That's right. They told me to shut up. Yeah, he disappeared. You don't hear this guy at all. He would be trolling Trump right now, laughing at him, making fun. Use that.
The world of Medicare Advantage and supplement plans is complex, even daunting. So I suggest true expert guidance to help you find the right plan. Currently or soon to be eligible for Medicare.
Get my garage floor covered today. By the guys on the referral list. Where are they? The garage floor people?
The floor people?
Yeah.
Garage King?
Yeah, they're doing my floor. I'm kind of looking forward to that. The garage is the one place in the house I can escape and don't want to come out and bother me.
My basement used to be that way, but now I've got it framed and got to start wiring and all that stuff. I'm about to lose it.
I got my brother-in-law lives with me. He's always going to live with me. Ain't my wife. I'm a good husband.
Well, but I have good news for you.
What?
friend of mine's brother-in-law came to live with him.
Yeah.
Brought his kids too.
Susan was the name of the woman that needed that coat.
I don't think he's gonna leave. He's single.
We never got her back on.
He goes outside and he smokes like a fish. He's got to have. What's that when you smoke too much? What's that? What empathy? Yeah, he's got to have something. If he got COVID, if he got sick, he'd be gone.
Man, I was thinking this dude was never going to leave my brother's house, but he eventually, this year, he actually got his shit out. You know, I mean,
that's the other thing. He doesn't, because that brother, forever unemployment, he worked, my wife found the job, same thing, and then, you know, he doesn't, you know, he's got money in the bank, 9 o'clock in the morning, he'll get in his car, drive to the beer store, he buys 6 of those big 20-ounce beers. That's what he does every day. And he stays in the basement, the room he's staying in was my little sports bar, the finish room in the basement, it was perfect. But, you know, he had a bad, you know, fighting depression his whole life. It's kind of sad. So, yeah, I drove to New York and got it. You know, my wife's little brother.
When it comes to figuring out what's bothering a person's voice, whether you find
My stepdaughter moved in with us and had her baby. We got Charlie, the grandbaby, and that's been 7 years now. And you know what? I love Charlie to death.
He's the best in figuring out and solving cases of local trouble.
Old-fashioned families, you know, that's the way they did back then. People lived in and, you know, just how life was.
Well, you know, the idea.
Is it working good today, Philippe?
Yeah, we're rocking.
I meant the audio more than anything.
Now that it's just hanging in there halfway like that.
So, help me out, because I really don't get this. What's the Brandon? I mean, I know that Joe Biden, but what's Brandon? What's that short for?
Okay, what happened?
No, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The crowd was saying, "Fuck Joe Biden,
right.
fuck Joe Biden, fuck Joe Biden." The news announcer, the interviewer,
it's Mark, M-A-R-C.
was talking to a guy named Brandon.
Oh. And she says, as you can hear, they're cheering. Let's go, Brandon.
Oh,
hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303.
713 talk 713-255. Hello, Jerry. You have a question for Paul the Waterman at waterpros.net. What's your question or what's your concern?
I do. Well, I live in the country, and our sewer system is septic. So I don't know how the added salt that softens the water affects it either negatively or no harm. I haven't seen or heard anybody address that.
Hold on one sec. I want to make something clear. The salt is used to rinse out the filter media that is used for the softening. So the salt's not added to the water, but it is rinsed and put down your drain. That part is correct. So how does that salt affect a septic system?
That's a great question.
Correct.
It's a great question. So water softening has been around since the 1940s. And we haven't killed the septic system yet. So
with a lot of salt, a lot more than it does now.
And modern systems use, that's right, Tom, use less. So all the hardness and iron and all the minerals are sent down the drain as well. And so those actually, those minerals will act as a food. And the ion exchange process, it's technical. But what really goes down the drain is calcium chloride. The hardness is calcium. That separates. The sodium chloride is the detergent. So calcium chloride, ferrous iron, that goes down the drain. So you're separating the sodium chloride. And what the byproduct of a water softener is sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda. And that's not going to kill the septic system. So to answer your question, it won't hurt it at all.
Okay. And then my other question would be, we really like the taste of our well water. I know that...
I know what you mean. That's really good
what
sometimes.
happens when I soften it, and, I want it for showering and clothes and, all of that, but I want the taste of my well water, and I don't mind it being filtered, but I like my water.
So what we can do is run a dedicated line to the cold water at the kitchen sink that's untreated. So then that could be, drinking water, and then, the rest of the house would be treated for the full benefits of soft water.
Or you put a drinking fountain underneath the kitchen sink. You put the 3 tanks, those little tiny tanks under there.
Yeah, the reverse osmosis. But, the water's going to change, taste will change, absolutely right, because you're tasting the minerals. And the water softener removes the minerals. So there's solutions, to that.
Okay. All right. And then what about outside watering? Plants and washing your car and that kind of stuff. Washing your car, soft water would be good, but I don't know necessarily about plants.
Well, it won't kill the plants, but the water's going to be absent of the minerals or food needed for plants. So you basically water, so there's no food. So you know what I do when I'm in a pinch, and I take potting soil around my, young fruit trees until they grow, and if I use soft water, the water is going to go through the potting soil, absorb the nutrients, and get to the root of the plant. That's what I do. Years ago, hose bibs out in our home were dedicated lines, not anymore. So it's tough, to try to single something out. It's just sometimes it's impossible, and to be quite candid, it could be expensive to do. So if you need to water, with an outside hydrant, again, you won't kill the plant. It just doesn't have any food. So you can substitute and work around that.
Okay. All right.
All right. So
I think that's probably about it then.
Yeah, and I'm telling you,
I'm still kind of on the fence with it,
No, I know. And here's the deal: you will never, and I'm serious, and I wouldn't say this. He's a sponsor, by the way, but I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. I have never found better systems for lower prices. In fact, I have seen some obscene prices on this. I've seen people charging $6, $8 for these things. The same thing he sells for under $2 fully installed. So you can take that to the bank. 303-713-8. Oh, we have a follow-up coming back with Deputy Doc.
I'm sorry, I thought Paul was talking to you. I didn't.
No, you thought we were off air.
Yeah.
Okay, right after this, I can use that follow-up.
You'll be very happy.
I want to take some notes here, bro. Specials. Okay, fresh drinking water is 900. A whole house filtration. Now, when we say whole house filtration, that is filtration. That's not purification. Correct. That's 19. Whole house water conditioning, $18.95. Water Pro's mini conditioner, $15.95. Yep. Whole house smart system. That's both filtering and softening.
Yes.
Okay.
Avoid the gridlock of having to store.
Okay. I just want to know. I want to know your products in and out. So
what we're advertising on the sales free. Yes. We have that. We have the whole house conditioner, softening conditioner. For like $32.95.
Yeah, I'm about to go on.
Hey, let's talk
about simplyfloorsinc.com. That's where you buy floor coverings. You may say, what's the big deal? And you'd be right to say that if I'm only talking about buying floor coverings, because you can buy floor coverings anywhere. You can go to Home Depot, you can go to big boxes, you go to the big mills, the big outlets. But the thing about Simply Floor is you get the consultation for no extra charge. In fact, you pay less, from Buddy and Karen Mitchell, who advise you what to use, how to use it, where to use it, and why to use it, and you pay better prices, better installation, better all-around experience. Make your own appointment for in your home, simplyfloorsinc.com. You know, Genesis is doing solar systems like crazy. Solar is a viable option. You still get the tax credits, and with the manufacturers that Genesis uses, you get a 25-year component guarantee and a production guarantee for 25 years. What does that mean? That means that they will predict what you're going to produce, and if you don't meet those standards every year, they write you a check for the difference. Find out more. Get a 20-minute evaluation of your solar to see if it's worth it on your lot. They don't have to do it there. They can do it off-site, okay? They use satellite imagery. So if you call them to get it done, though, you get a free Yeti cup when they do it, a free Yeti cup, and that's like a $40 value. 303-474-4317. 303-474-4317. 4317.
Everyone loves shopping online.
As Mark's booking our New Year's plans, I realized my D-Day next year is 2/22/2022.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, 2/22/2022.
Did we get an answer
That's a mouthful.
on retainment of prenup records?
You need to get a new.
I'll call one of my lawyer buddies tonight.
That'd be fun. I
and
like
follow
that
up
kind
on
of
that.
stuff.
Deuces. Because it's confusing.
That's what I got to bet on while we're there for in Vegas. Now,
the client that they're going to
Be the whole time you're there.
yep. Watch us lose our asses.
That bite-in shit's funny, isn't it?
It is.
I realize next year we're talking New Year's. My birthday's 2/22/2022. So we'll have to bet on twos when we go to Vegas for New Year's.
I'll have to make sure it's during the week so we can have a big celebration for you. Turning 30 is a big deal.
You know, we've never been in Vegas for New Year's.
We haven't.
I went one time.
2022.
See if your cousin wants to fly in.
Yeah, I'll see if they want to.
We went when my son was 10 years old.
What?
The salt-free option. What is that?
That's just the in-house filter. That's not soft. That's not soft.
There is no salt.
There's no salt, right? So I do that for secure, a whole house filter.
Some people want that.
Well,
They ask for it. They don't
They
realize.
ask for it, and but here's the thing: these plumbers out there are selling these Halo 5 systems.
Oh yeah, like 10 grand.
Exactly, and they're junk. They don't work. We're gonna replace one tomorrow.
Halo 5.
I did help a customer on the show, Benjamin Franklin, sold him a Halo, and they're like, I said, call him back and tell him you want a softener that this is real. To Benjamin Franklin's credit, they put in a softener.
Put some water on this, Mark. I want to clean that wall. I just do that.
We took my son when he was 10 to Vegas. We had a great time. We went to, we took him to the midnight show of the Steer, which was really great.
Great show.
And he had a great time.
The what?
I've seen Mystere 3 times.
So one of those Cirque du Soleil.
Oh yeah. I saw the Beatles.
The midnight performance of the Steer.
That's the only one I haven't seen.
What, the Beatles?
Beatles. I've seen Michael Jackson.
If you
I've
like
seen
Beatles
the
music, it's great.
Humanity.
If you don't like Beatles music,
you're a fucking moron.
No. We tried to get into Beatles, actually. We couldn't, when we were
don't
there,
like
they
the
were sold
Beatles.
out.
You're not a person.
The best show I saw in Vegas was Tom Jones.
If they would do, if Vegas, if someone like the Bellagio would do, seriously, man, would do the Monkees in a new one, then I'd go. I'd be fucking down.
You know what else I thought was
I'd
really
be
good?
downtown.
Have you seen Blue Man Group in Vegas?
Yeah.
The first time you see it, it's great. I really think that it's.
I saw the Blue Man Group.
But kids, I took my son to see it. I thought it was terrific.
I like magicians. I love comedians.
I love what's his name? Chris. Wait.
I've seen Chris Angel. He's all right.
You can't take.
Here's another one. First time is great. I mean, seeing it again is like.
Yeah, but you can't go kids to see comedians.
You know who's really good, and he doesn't go in Vegas, but he has that TV show.
Bob Saget.
The character Kevin.
You watch that? Oh yeah, he's good. I've seen it. It's pretty good.
Kevin Arrow.
Oh.
The Kevin Arrow.
He pulls like real.
God, he should just do that.
He fucks with people like in real life.
Oh, I've seen it.
He is good. He comes up with the best shit.
Wonder why this patch game
I
is
can't
here.
believe people fall for it.
Yeah, we need at least one more patch game, all right?
Man, I've been looking under here, and
This is the
there's
fastest
a
4 hours
hub
of
under
radio.
here.
I promised your buddies we would give them kudos.
Little hubs in your cabinet here.
So let me on.
I don't know if they're on the referral list anymore.
Granite transformation?
Yeah, I don't know why she said that.
Are they still on?
It doesn't matter.
Oh.
No, it doesn't matter, but I didn't think they were on.
Tom Martino here, Deputy Doc. Quickly, you got to follow up with Granite Transformation. She said she paid money up front, now wants to cancel. They want to charge her $500. She said, look, the only reason she wanted to cancel is they kept, postponing her appointment. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, I spoke to Gene, his general manager. These guys are stand-up guys.
Yeah, they're
He
good
called
people.
Back. He said, you know what? We will give her a full refund, no questions asked. So this is the reason why you got to deal with people that we recommend and we trust.
Yeah, Granite Transformation is good people, but here's the thing. I feel sorry for them like I do a lot of companies because they're short. They're just short people. And I don't mean short. I don't feel sorry for them because they're short people. I'm going to get in trouble now. I meant they're short-staffed.
Not Randy Newman short.
Anyway,
people.
Tom, what is your question for Water Pros?
Yes, I have a hard to medium hard water source, and there are some systems that just use a filter, kind of a medium for the water to flow through to lower the hardness. Do you have an opinion of those?
They don't work that well. Go ahead.
Yeah, they don't work. It's all fake. There's no such thing as a salt-free filter water softener. And to prove my point, just, if you look at anybody that has a refrigerator with hard water buildup, that's a 1/4-inch line, that's a sub-micron filter, and hardness just penetrates and builds up. It's a waste of money.
Yeah, so filtration is filtration, softening is softening. There's no such thing as salt-free softening.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, man, I'm glad that you called. And, Paul, so $29 to check any existing system, a 5-point check. You also have free water testing, which is honest and forthright. Paul is somebody I affectionately call Paul the Waterman at waterpros.net, 303-862-5554. 303-862-5554. What are you advertising in my 303consumer.com magazine?
Well, we're advertising our smart metered unit.
What is that?
It's a water softener that meters and monitors water.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's on sale for $18.95 installed.
Totally installed, still under $2,000.
Yeah,
and it has a meter on it.
It has a meter on, so what it's going to do, it's going to monitor water usage, clean itself on demand. It's a smart metered unit. It's made here in the United States and Wisconsin. We don't take anything overseas out of Asia. I don't trust the quality. $18.95 installed.
Here's his number, 303-862-5554. That's waterpros.net, 303-862-5554. All right, folks, you hear me say this all the time, referralist.com for help, information, and referrals. Save all your problems for me.